What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Cleveland, can you hear me okay?
I got you loud and clear, Big Can. How you doing?
Oh my goodness, man. This has been a headache over the last couple hours, man. But thank you for tuning in, fans. Thank you guys for tuning in to week 261 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. I see you changed up your colors today. You got Huskies? You got Husky purple and gold?
Husky, purple and gold for sure.
I mean, where's the maroon and gray?
Maroon and green. Who's that?
Maroon and gray. Scarlet and gray, I think it is actually.
Man, cut it out, man. I
I
don't even
mean,
know
I
what
think you
that.
represent Northwest.
I don't even know what that color combination represents, man. Keep it moving.
Fans, each and every week, man. Want to thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. We put together a show for you guys, man, just to talk about sports, get some stuff off your chest. This week we're gonna talk about week 5 in the NFL. We're gonna talk about the NBA preseason. Saw some good stuff going on this week, and what caught your eye? See what caught Cleveland's eye. Cleveland's gonna have to explain some of this Major League Baseball. Um, the playoffs going on. I mean, I know we don't got no Mariners talk, but maybe you could break down some of the what we're seeing from Bryce Harper and the Phillies. See what's going on in the Braves. Can you break some of that down for us later on?
I absolutely can, Big Cam.
We're gonna get to this week in history as always. We're gonna get to our fantasy football league. I mean, somebody's hovering at the top, and so one person had the most points in the league. I think the league goes by points, so we're gonna it. One person's hovering at the top, like I said, but the most points wins, right?
It's no. The best record wins, and who wins in the championship game is a overall eventual winner. So yeah, points is yeah.
What do you mean points? What you don't recognize points now? We don't recognize points in the league.
I mean, points gets you into the playoffs, but I mean, once you get into the playoffs, it's wins and losses. It's not point total or differential.
I mean, there might be some rule changes in the.
I know this big Cam being the commish, so
I mean, we
wouldn't be surprised if some rule changes came.
Well, listen to you, fans. October 12th, October 11th, 2000. 2000, 2023, week 261 of the Voice of the Fans podcast, Cleveland. Each and every week, we start off with a numbers game, Cleveland. When you think of the number 11, Cleveland, who come to your mind first, or who would that number best?
Isaiah Thomas.
For both categories?
For both categories.
I thought you were going to come with a Kelly Stauffer.
Nope.
No Kelly Stauffer?
Mm-mm.
No Kyrie Irving?
Nope.
Was Kyrie's handles better than Isaiah, though?
I mean, perhaps.
You don't want to give Kyrie no credit for having a better handles?
I mean, maybe so. But what is that really translated into? I mean, he's not Isaiah, so I mean, good handles. That's cool.
That's fair enough. When you think of the number 61, Cleveland, who wore that number the best? Or who come in mind first?
It's got to be Livan Hernandez, man, with the Marlins, and then again with the Giants.
Livan Hernandez. No Josh Beckett. Robbie Tobick.
Electric Josh Beckett was amazing. And does have 2 World Series rings, so maybe I should rescind that one.
Man, this week in the NFL, Cleveland. I mean, where do you want to start? Is it sheesh? We're gonna do a deep dive. But I don't know if we can start without talking about the IR. The IR list. When you have Richardson, the Colts quarterback, goes to IR. I mean, this is he has 3 injuries in the first 5 games. I mean, this is not a good sign for this kid. The Vikings, Justin Jefferson goes to IR. I mean, their season was struggling already, but I mean he goes to IR, and then Devon Achane the Choo Choo Man, Choo Choo, he goes to IR, second leading rusher in the NFL. I mean, this really impacts not only my squad but my fantasy squad. What do you think about what do you think about these guys going to the injury report? I mean, do you want to go one by one, or you just the infirmary ward is filling up?
I think it would be most appropriate to go one by one with the significance and the impact with regards to the team and also, your fantasy football team as a whole. So,
Well, Richardson, again, this is his third injury in less than 6 weeks. I mean, do they have? Can they tell the young man to tone it down? What's the saying? There's no old running quarterbacks in the NFL, because they're all young and don't last. I mean, can you change the guy's game? Do you try to tamp him down? What do they do about this? Is it play calling? Is what? How do they manage this situation?
I think that he has learned his lesson from these three injuries and that he will try and tone it down as much as possible. That's just me being cautiously optimistic. Maybe he just feels that he's a freak of nature and can just do whatever he wants on the field whenever he wants. But hopefully, he's learned from these injuries, and this next one is 4 to 8 weeks. So, yeah, hopefully he's more cognizant of what can happen to him if he gets hit. But at the same time, his physical features will say that he needs to do that. He needs to run. He needs to do what he was doing before he got hurt. So
I mean,
I
it
don't know.
was
I don't know how much can change his game just because of the injuries that he's accrued.
this past injury wasn't even a hard hit. It was the guy chasing down and tackling.
I kind of felt like he got kind of driven down to the ground into his shoulder, man. Like, I don't really, everyone's like, oh, it didn't look very hard. It's like, yeah, it looked like that dude fell on his shoulder with all of his body weight. It was weird.
But he's a runner. At that time, he's a runner. He's not in the
Not
box.
not saying why it happened. Yeah, I didn't say it was an illegal hit. I just said it seemed like that guy fell on his shoulder with all of his body weight. And typically that's what happens when you do that.
But a guy who's as big as he is, it's just kind of weird that happens. I mean, it's kind of weird it how that happened to him. It's he's susceptible. What's up, Barry? Thanks for tuning in. Um, he's a big dude. That kind of happens to kind of a smallish quarterbacks. AC joint where he couldn't move afterwards. It was kind of weird. It didn't seem like a an injury that's going to put him out for 6 weeks, and that's what we're looking at. And talk about your guy, Justin Jefferson. We're at week 5, week 6 in the NFL, going into week 6, and he's going to be out probably. I mean, this is going to be a 6-week injury because the hamstring probably takes a few weeks to cool off or loosen up on them. And then what's the rush back? They're going to be out of the playoff hunt. So what are you rushing back for? You can't break any records because they're not going to be. Their season's going to be done. So I don't expect to see him for 6 weeks if we see him at all. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he'll be back even if they're I've heard a lot of reports that like, okay, well, if they're out of the playoff picture, then he just
What's
won't
the
come
rush?
back at all. I don't see that as happening. I think he'll be back in 4 to 6 weeks.
I mean, what? Why are you rushing him back though? I mean,
Not rushing him back. That's why I said 4 to 6 weeks.
so let's just map it out. In 4 to 6 weeks, there'll be at best 2-6, 2-8, or 2-7. Like, just take the rest of the season off, dog. Just chill out.
Yeah, he'll play.
Take the rest of the season off, man. Take the rest of the season off. Cool your jets. Get a recovery season.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like his agent, but I mean, at the same time, he's a competitive football player. This is what he does for a living. So, hey, man, he'll be out there 4 to 6 weeks.
We'll see. Yeah, I would tell him definitely sit down, no rush.
You would, I mean, to leverage his monetary compensation as much as possible and mitigate the risk of getting injured again. For
right.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're the team is going nowhere. So,
But you
and
should still put some tape out there, right?
do we need some tape on Justice Jefferson?
Yeah.
I mean, you're speaking like a fantasy on football owner right now.
No, I'm not.
Do we need some tape on?
I am
Are
speaking.
you, are
I
you,
am
are you
speaking like someone when they say, "Hey, man, what have you been doing lately?" You ask them, "This is what I've been doing lately." Footage.
are you questioning the ability and the skills and ability of Justin Jefferson? Is that what we're doing right now? I
What do they
mean,
say, Cam? Sometimes the best ability is availability. So be available.
if they were in playoff contention,
Not
yeah,
talking about the Vikings. I'm talking about him as a receiver going forward.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think
You want
anybody.
someone to give you $35 million a year next year. Well, what's the last thing you did? Oh man, week 4, I got my hamstring hurt. I can't play no more the whole season.
Wait, is he up
Really?
for his contract? Is his contract up?
What's up?
Oh, even more reason. Yeah, sit out, bro. We already know what you're capable of. You got Kirk Cousins throwing to you, man. We already know what you're capable of. He has what the most receiving yards in the first 3 years of receivers' existence. Come on,
Okay,
there's
well
no.
you sound like his age and like his grandma. That's cool.
I'm just saying.
That's great.
He doesn't need any tape. The Justin Jefferson is one guy who doesn't need any tape. Go ahead, chill out, and we'll see you at the negotiating office. How about that?
Okay, well, we'll see what the Vikings are, in that 4 to 6 week timeline, record wise.
Yeah, come on, man. I don't think we need. There's no reason for Justin Jefferson to hit the. There's no reason for Justin Jefferson to rush his way back into the NFL. I think we can both agree on that. I think we both can agree on that. Let me see something real quick. Just trying to see what their record is. What will be their record here in 4 to 6 weeks exactly? Minnesota, they're 1-4. They got the Bears this week, so they'll be 2-8 at best. Yeah, bro. Sit down, relax.
Yeah, I mean, you said the Bears. What were the other games that they had to play? You kind of, I guess, assume would all be losses. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll give them a win. I'll give them a win against the Bears.
okay, and what
And
were
then
the other games?
the 4 games. I mean, what at best they're going to go 2-2. So that's 3.
You don't, Ken. Who are the other opponents that they were playing in the other weeks as the season progresses?
That's what I'm saying. At best they'll go 2-2. Like, do you want me to pull it up? Let me pull it up right now. Let me pull up who the Vikings will be playing.
Yeah, you're making some assumptions. I was just curious as to who the opponents would be.
I mean, it does again at best. I was saying at best, just with giving them the benefit of the doubt, they would go
Okay.
2-2. Would be my what is what I'll say. So they got the Bears, the San Francisco 49ers, the Green Bay Packers, the Atlanta Hawks, and the New Orleans Saints. So again,
okay. I think they can beat the Atlanta Falcons. I think they can beat
Green Bay.
Green Bay Packers. I'm sorry, who was that last team you said?
No, they got the Bears, the Niners, the Packers, and the Falcons, and the Saints. That's their next five games. So they could beat the Bears, and I'll give them the Bears win. They could beat Green Bay. They could beat the
Bears, the Falcons, and the Packers.
Yeah, they could win
the 49ers, so they could easily go 3-1.
They could go
3-1. 3-5. Right?
Yeah.
Well, then he has to come back.
Detroit's gonna win that division. So
okay.
Detroit's gonna win that.
But these are football players, right? And so you're prognosticating a whole bunch of things in week 5, but it goes to week 18, and so yeah, If they lose all of those games, maybe you shut it down. If they don't, you can help us get into this playoff picture.
Yeah, you got a point there. Can't argue that. Get back on the field, but there's no rush for you actually, and it's not about putting something on tape for these.
No, I mean, no, I understand the way you're putting your arm around them like an agent or a PR guy, which is cool.
Like a PR guy.
The Furry's a football player, so 4 to 6 weeks, closer to 4.
Okay. So let's talk about A-Chain. Choo choo. Choo choo. That's a stinger. That is a stinger. Because this is the dude is averaging. Cleveland, do you know what the NFL average is? Or a good running back, do you know what a good running back averages per yards per carry?
Man, Cam, I'm all about the eye test, man. So I don't get in all them stats and stuff that you be, trying to, fool me
No,
with.
seriously. I ain't trying to put you. I'm not trying to stick nothing on you. But just, do you know what a good running back averages yards per carry?
I would say probably 3.5 to 4 yards per carry.
4 yards is better than average yard per carry. 4 yards. Dog is averaging 12 yards a carry. Cleveland. Devon A-Chain is averaging 12 yards a carry right now, dog. That's unheard of. That is unheard of. That's coming from Texas A&M. Like he stepped. That's PlayStation John Madden type stats right there. I don't know if you watched the game. I don't know if you watched the game against what up Ninja.
What's going down, Ninja?
I don't know if you watched the game with him against the Dolphins and the Giants. How he just ran around the safety and sprinted for 76-yard touchdown. Did you see that? Like,
I did see that. Yeah, it was shown over and over again on the what's the channel that I watch? That shows all the games.
All the Red Zone channel.
Red Zone. Yeah. So I absolutely saw that, and that's fantastic, man. And it gave credence to how potent that offense can be. But I'm so sorry. One more time, those opponents that he was playing against, one of them was the New York Giants. One of them was the New England Patriots. What was the other team?
There you go. Are those NFL teams, or are those?
They certainly are.
Or those teams at Texas A&M?
What is their combined record? I think what I saw was the combined record of the teams the Miami Dolphins had beaten was like 3-97, something like that.
Are you trying to downplay?
I'm saying that he got a lot of yards against some very average or below average defenses. That's what I'm saying.
You look like a buffoon.
Really? Wow.
Okay. Are you trying to say?
So one of the teams, I believe, was the Denver Broncos, is giving up 36 points a game. One of the teams was the New York Giants that have not had an offensive possession with the lead. One of the teams was the New England Patriots. And
I'm not standing for this. I'm not standing for this.
68-3.
I'm not standing. You don't want to talk about stats. You don't want to talk about stats, and then you're going to try to talk about my man is. You're going to try to debunk my man averaging 12 yards a carry.
Yeah,
like these aren't.
Yeah,
like these
He's
guys
running over some NAIA teams. Man, get out of here,
Cleveland. Shame on you, Cleveland, for doing this.
He came up against the Ravens defense and the Seahawks defense and the Purple People Eaters. Man, those defenses that he ran through are paper thin. And now you ain't got him for 4 more games, so why we even talk about him?
Cleveland, I'm ashamed right now. I'm
He's
ashamed
on
of
the injury
you.
reserve, right? So there's no he's actually not going to play for the next 4 games. So it makes no difference what he did against those other inferior opponents previously, right?
Cleveland, you got me speechless right now. You got me speechless when you're talking about what you're making it seem as if what this kid hasn't done.
Cam, I would venture to guess that he is probably rushed for those yards against the 4 worst rushing defenses in the league.
In what league, Cleveland? In what league are
In
you?
the NFL.
In the National Football League, Cleveland? Is that what you're talking about? You're discounting what the guy has done in the National Football League? Is that what you're telling me now? Did you
I
hear
am
Justin?
pretty
Did
sure
you discount?
he
Did
has
you
done
discount what
this
Justin Jefferson
against
has done?
the worst rushing defenses in the NFL.
I just want to know: did you discount what Justin Jefferson has done in NFL in his 3 seasons in the NFL, setting his record? Did you discount any of what he's done?
No,
Why? Why is that, Cleveland? Because he played in the NFL.
because
Because he played in the National Football League.
Because the
And now
body of work is more extensive than 4 games against the worst rushing defenses in the NFL.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be
You gotta be
ashamed.
ashamed of yourself.
You ought to be ashamed
Why,
of yourself.
why are you trying to throw that out? Like it doesn't make any difference.
Because they all put on a helmet, they all put on a uniform, they all get paid NFL dollars to get out
But
here.
they're the worst defenses in the National Football League.
Is it okay? And
Collectively.
he's playing on the
All
best
of
offense.
them.
So now he shouldn't get he shouldn't get credit for playing on the best offense. He shouldn't. Are you going to discount what Tyreek Hill is doing in the NFL? Are you discounting now what Tua Tagovailoa is doing in the NFL? Is that what you're trying to do? Are you trying to discount what these teams are doing?
The New York Giants haven't won any football games, right?
No. Are you trying to
Denver
discount?
Broncos have only won 1 football game.
So
New England Patriots have only won 1 football game.
So thank you, Ninja. Ninja actually having some sense tonight. Ninja. So Cleveland, what should they be doing against these teams? They should be spanking these teams, right? They should be spanking these teams that they're playing, and they should be putting up.
They should be winning those games, putting up big numbers, but
Right.
you should not be trying to equate that offensive output to the fact that they're playing against those weak.
So these numbers don't go in the stat book. These numbers don't go in the stat sheet. Is that what you're telling me? Because of who they play, these numbers don't go in the stat sheet.
They don't mean as they. Of course, they go in the stat book. They just don't mean as much.
Oh, get out of here! Get out of here! You ought to be ashamed. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
You should be ashamed of yourself trying to pump A-Chain up for run over the 4 worst defenses in the league.
You got me speechless right now. You
got me speechless. These are the 4 worst defenses in the league, and he was getting off against those guys. Like, wow, that's impressive.
So if he ended up running Cleveland for 3.0 yards a carry, which you say is the NFL average, you would talk about how he's not that good, right? You would talk about maybe he shouldn't be participating,
especially against the opponents that he was doing it against.
Come on, man. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, sorry, I can't give it to you, Cam.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Ninja. We're gonna get to that, Ninja. Hold your horses, Ninja. Hold your horses. We're getting to that, Ninja. Just hold your horses. We're gonna come around to you, Ninja, because I got a couple more topics before I smack him in the face. Because we already know this guy's talking nonsense. We already know he's talking nonsense. I'm a little speechless because I didn't expect this from him. He caught me off guard with this discounting Devon A-Chain's effectiveness in the NFL as a rookie. Somebody go to the stat book for me and tell me what the NFL average is, and then you look at what this kid has been doing in his first few weeks as a starter in the NFL.
And then those same people that are statting you to death, Cam, ask him this question: what are the 4 worst defenses in the league?
Do they suit up? Do they play? Do they suit up and do they
sure
put on a helmet?
They sure do, but they're the fourth worst defenses in the league.
Again, you're discount. So these stats shouldn't count because the Miami Dolphins are looking like
They're exaggerated.
The greatest
They're exaggerated.
show on turf. Because Miami Dolphins are looking like the greatest show on turf. Now you're going to tell me that this is not effective football?
So
now you're going to tell me Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
Beautiful.
Like these they're not playing good football.
Damn, I don't know if you understand what you're doing right now, man. But I would advise you to stop because you're putting your smut all over him, man. You're just gonna wear him down. It's getting colder.
Man.
Defenses are seeing more tape.
Ninja,
it's a cool.
Ninja, give me a minute, Ninja. I'm coming around to you. I'm coming around to Ninja, but the last point you made is inaccurate. It's totally inaccurate, Ninja. It's totally
cool 4-1 they're on right now, man, and it's still warm.
Cleveland, you need to cut it out. You need to cut it out. Before.
And Ninja, the Giants come to town, right?
Ninja's on fire over here, but Ninja, you got to hold tight, big
guy. It's not the Giants. Who's coming to town? Oh, the Carolina Panthers. Oh, my goodness. But Bryce Young, man. Ooh. Yeah, you might score 50, Playboy. And then we keep rolling along. The season gets longer.
I can't believe
a little bit better, Cam.
I can't believe how you're discounting
the record of the team that they played in the first 6 weeks.
I can't believe how you're discounting. Buffalo.
Fans.
Buffalo.
Miami Dolphins have not played a team with a winning record. They have played 3 teams that only have one.
They lost to Buffalo. They lost to Buffalo. Cleveland. So is Buffalo a good team? Is Buffalo a good team?
Yeah, and they lost by 28 points. Okay. That's their loss.
Settle down. Did they lose? They lost to Buffalo. Is Buffalo a good team, Cleveland? Just yes or no, is Buffalo a good team?
They're a good team. They were a good team.
Is that a respectable defense, Buffalo?
Yes.
Devon Achane had 8 carries, Cleveland, for over 100 yards.
Okay, well.
I mean, what do you want?
Achane is out for 4 to 6 weeks, man. I'm not quite sure what all the Achane talking
you don't want to talk about it. Now you don't want to talk about it.
I mean,
now you don't want to talk about it.
Minutes too long. Why are we still talking about this? What is your point here?
You're just because you're discounting Achane like he's a scrub when he put averaging 12 yards a carry. Who else in the NFL averaged 12 yards a carry?
Alabama plays Appalachian State and just
I just debunked that theory. He runs for 387 yards a carry against the Buffalo Bills.
It's just against Appalachian State.
He averaged 12 yards of carries against Buffalo Bills.
Oh, for real?
You just told me Buffalo's a good team.
Cam. The one carry was for 78 yards, and the other 7 carries were for like 32 yards.
Well, one carry was for 50 yards. So give
him
7 carries for 50 yards.
Yeah.
What is that? That's 7 yards a carry. That's double what the NFL average is.
I can do the football math just like you. If you put the whole thing together, 12 yards a carry. If you take that one carry out, 2.6 yards a carry.
No. The 7 yards a carry is not 2.6. Okay, let's get it right.
So I'm so sorry. So he had 122 yards?
He had 100 yards. So you take out the 50
yards.
You take out the 50 yards. He had 8 carries. He had 7 yards. So 7 carries for 50 yards. 7 yards.
50 yards.
7 carries that's 7 yards a carry, Cleveland. That's 7 yards a carry. That's still double what the NFL average is. And we went way too long on it, Devon Achane. I just can't believe
too long.
I just can't believe
he's out. He's not going to be back for 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, we got Mostert. We still got Mostert in the backfield.
Okay,
we still have Tyreek Hill.
We still have back, and I think we still have Myles Gaskin or Salvon Ahmed. One of those UWers, running backs.
I see how you try to slip Montlake in the mix. I see how you did that. Cleveland, Van Joseph or Van, excuse me. Vance Jefferson gets traded to the Atlanta Falcons from the Rams to the Atlanta Falcons. Did that make a difference for the Falcons?
No.
Did no impact for the Falcons? Okay, moving right along. Moving right along. Now, this is what Ninja. I'm a little disappointed in you, Ninja, because I already know. I always know you have Cleveland side in things. I always know you have Cleveland side in things. But this Ninja, you're totally off base here. Cleveland, I'm gonna ask you this question, Cleveland. This is a recurring theme in the show, fans. If you watch the show for any length of time, this is a recurring theme. Cleveland, do you believe in Brock Purdy yet? Exactly. There we go. Thank you. It's about time. It's about time. He has to come around. He can't refute it. He can't refute it no more. He cannot refute it. And Ninja, shame on you, Ninja. I never discounted Purdy, and because of the scheme, I never did that. That's Cleveland. Will you correct your guy? I never did that. I never discounted what Ninja was doing. Well, I'm not sure where you're getting this from, Ninja. I never, ever discounted because, as you see, Cleveland still hasn't responded yet. But as you see, Kirk Cousins over Purdy, Ninja, I don't know where you're getting this from. I don't know what show you're watching. I have to go off on a tangent because I never took Kirk Cousins over Brock Purdy, Ninja. I'm not sure what show you were watching. Maybe that's your guy. I can't even say your guy took Kirk Cousins over Ninja. I don't recall that. Because I would have brought that up for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. So I don't recall that particular statement, and I know he's not going to admit it to. I know he won't admit that right now if he ever put Kirk Cousins over Brock Purdy. I don't recall hearing that. I'm not sure what show you're tuning into. Cleveland. Now the floor is yours. The floor is yours, Cleveland. Do you believe in Brock Purdy?
It's too much. It's too much of an extensive body of work to say anything different. You have to.
Is that a long way? That's a long way to say yes. Is that a long way to say yes? I believe. That's a long way to say
extensive body of work is too extensive, man. This is too much. It's too much.
Where's that book at? Where's that book at that you've been talking about? Where's that book at? Because we got all second half of last season. We're 5 weeks into this season. Where's that book, Cleveland? Because you like to say once that book comes, once they get the book out, and once they start scheming and practicing against them, where's the book at? Where's the book? Did your guy Dan Quinn have the book? That's what I want to know. Did your guy Dan Quinn have the book on Sunday?
He did. He had the film. He had lots of film. Didn't work.
I mean, Cleveland. Tell the fans what you thought of the 49ers smackdown of the Cowboys. I'm not even gonna say nothing. Go ahead and let the fans know what you thought of the smackdown.
It was a clinic. It was way too easy. They were just running their offense at will, and their defense was extremely imposing. Warner, Bosa, they were just all over the place. So it looks great right now, and I can't.
Oh, he said right now. He said like right now, like it was. Thank you, SB. Thank you.
I still want Parsons over Warner.
Thank SB. I tried to question that, right, SB? Didn't I try to question that last week? I was like, I don't know. Warner sent a message.
No.
Ever since week one. I mean, Warner's been stud. I go back a few years with these 49ers when I saw them just manhandle the Chargers. It was the Chargers. It was in practice. I mean, they essentially stopped practice because the 49ers was beating down the Chargers. And they went from, as you guys know, Cleveland, you notice we talked with Eric about this the other day. How they went from actually playing preseason games to doing these joint practices, right? The 49ers came to town and just whooped the Chargers' ass up and down the field. One-on-ones, defense versus offense. The Chargers couldn't move the ball because the 49ers, we had Greenlaw coming off the injured, the way the fields were set up. Greenlaw was injured over there trying to do his stretches and trying to rehab himself. And he was trying to get on the field to get some action and against the Chargers just because he wanted a piece of the action. They were just tearing the Chargers to shreds. And they essentially stopped the practice. And then after practice, it was like, well, why'd you stop it? Oh, well, because we saw enough and the guys were getting too physical and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, the Chargers, the 49ers is a physical team. Cleveland. Now, I can't put a whole lot of this because I was a big fan of Najee Harris coming out of college. You know that. We both were a fan of Najee Harris coming out of college. You try to tell me the Alabama running back wasn't who he thought he was. But I had a lot of confidence in him coming out of college. At the beginning of the season, week 1, when the Pittsburgh Steelers traveled across the country to go play the San Francisco 49ers, that game was over on the very first play when Najee Harris got ran through by
the other way around, and that's fantastic, man. But what does all of that mean, Cam? Do you think that the San Francisco 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl?
Oh, here you go. So now we go from the 49ers. Now we go from the 49ers. Look at them. Now we go from the 49ers not being any good to not from Brock Purdy.
Well, they ain't going to win a Super Bowl, Cam. Not with Brock Purdy at quarterback. That's not quite enough. It's enough to win a lot of regular season games. It's just not enough to win a Super Bowl.
So you go from Brock Purdy you go from Brock Purdy not being a good quarterback to saying he can't win the Super Bowl. That's what we're doing now?
He's not. They're not going to the Super Bowl, so he's not even going to be in a position to win a Super Bowl. So yeah.
So what are you claiming? Are they not going to the Super Bowl or they're not winning the Super Bowl? Which one are you doing?
Well, if they don't go to the Super Bowl, then they can't win the Super Bowl, right?
So
I'm saying they're not going to the Super Bowl.
So was that an elbow? Was that an elbow on them going to the Super Bowl and then them winning a second one on them winning the Super Bowl? Is that what we're doing here? Is that what we're doing?
They're not going. So what difference does it make?
Fans, I gotta take that deal. I'm not even Niner fans. I gotta take that deal. Although I do have that makes me go against because I had the Eagles winning the bowl, but you're trying to make me change my pick in week 7 or week 5.
6. Yeah.
We're gonna get to that at the end of the show. We're gonna get to that end, but now you have to explain to your fans. Now you have to explain to your fans kind of what your adjustment is. And I'm so ashamed of you, Ninja, for trying to stick for discounting Purdy in his scheme. I'm so ashamed of you. I've been on Purdy's bandwagon after 6-1 last year, 7-1.
Yeah, Ninja, say that.
Is it now? Explain to Ninja. Now explain to Ninja why you changing your tune.
I've never changed I have no other recourse but to change my tune about Purdy. He has not lost a regular season game. That's amazing. Do I think he's going to win the Super Bowl this year? No. I got 2 pounds of ribs coming to me when he doesn't win the Super Bowl.
You still want Parsons over Warner?
Yeah.
You do? Even after what you just saw last week?
Yeah, that was a great game.
There's you go. There's you and Ninja lockstep right there. Lockstep with each other. Really? I mean, you keep wanting to go back to episodes. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Ed Ninja. When you want to go back to episodes, SB
Go
put it
back
on.
to them. I mean, yeah, bring the
SB
tape.
put it on.
Pull the tape up, man. I'm throwing
SB
up
put it
right
on the
now
table
on
last
you.
week. SB put it on the table last week. Who do you want to take? And I was a little. I couldn't go.
Okay.
I couldn't go
Okay.
Parsons.
I hear
couldn't go Parsons.
you're saying SB23, but who is the more explosive defensive player? Who has the opportunity to have the most significant impact every time the ball is snapped? It's Micah Parsons.
Did Micah Parsons have a tackle on Sunday?
Maybe not.
So how does he have the most?
We'll see what he does to Justin Herbert next weekend. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, SB. Thank you, SB. That's exactly who he is. He's the guy who paid Daniel. Okay. He's the guy who paid Daniel Jones over Saquon. That's him right there.
Okay. Well, hey, now I have even more motivation to watch the game when Micah Parsons brings it.
Man,
to your Chargers.
I can't.
And your guy Justin Herbert.
I can't believe
guy Staley. And may even knock them out of the playoff picture in week 6.
I can't. Now this guy's a Cowboy fan. You just hating on him.
But now I mean, like, well,
yeah.
I'm not saying Warner's not amazing. He's amazing, and he had an amazing game. But
it wasn't just one game, though, Cleveland. This is what you're missing. Bro, it wasn't just one game.
He's not physically as talented or gifted as Micah Parsons. It's not close.
Cleveland, we just watched the game. Well, one team was physically more dominant than the other team. And how are you going to say now that guy's not physically more dominant?
Okay.
I don't understand.
If I had a team,
make it make sense.
If I had a team, I had to pick Micah Parsons or Fred Warner. I would pick Micah Parsons.
Oh, I get it, fans. I get it. The San Francisco 49ers are playing the NFC West. That's their division rival.
It's not even a divisional.
That's what it is. I'm sorry. It took a moment, fans. But that's a divisional rival speaking. He doesn't want to give any props.
Fans, I don't like the way that Cam is trying to, tap into some type of credibility thing.
I don't know what else could it be.
Not a bias.
What else could it be?
I don't feel that he's a better defensive player than Micah Parsons.
I know, because you've seen just too much of Fred Warner. You just seen too much of him to give him any credit. Okay, fair enough. But you can't say anything about Brock Purdy now. So now we finally established that Brock Purdy is that dude, right? That's finally been established, correct? Is he gonna? I'm not gonna go to MVP candidate.
I didn't say that, dude. I said, hey, he's a really good player. He's a good player.
Oh, you didn't say that, dude. So you're still not totally convinced. And
I'm convinced that he is putting up numbers in proportion that I can't really have anything to say about him other than he's been extremely successful. And hey, kudos to him. Hats off to him.
Oh, it sounds like you're just waiting for the wheels to fall off. Sound like you're waiting. It sound like you're sitting on the sideline just waiting for those wheels to fall off.
No, because
you're not calling AAA either. You won't be calling AAA. You won't be. You don't have your charge phone. It's not like you got the charge phone on the side. Be like, I told you. You're just waiting. That's what it sounds like to me.
No, because I said earlier, the body of work is too extensive. Can't even say that.
I know you can't, but
he's in the drive-by lane for sure. They're getting to the playoffs. Unless the Seahawks do something ridiculous, they're winning the division. They're getting the bye. They're mauling teams. They're average. What did you say? 30 points a game every time this dude comes out in the regular season.
I'm glad that you cannot refute what this guy has done.
Can't refute what he's done.
But then you throw the Super Bowl elbow test at me, like
they're not winning the Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's what I said. Do you feel differently about it because of what Purdy's going to be doing at quarterback?
I mean, Purdy will not be the reason they don't win. That I'm convinced of that.
No.
Like, I mean, if they face the Dolphins, I mean that Dolphin, you know, when the Dolphins face the 49ers and that high powered offense led by Dan Marino years ago, I mean, there's not Reggie, there's not Ronnie Lott on the other side of the ball. Like,
hey man, I don't like to think about that game. That was a really depressing game, so we're not going to go there. But
what I'm just saying, like
and the
that,
Miami Dolphins will not be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl, but it doesn't really matter because the San Francisco 49ers aren't going to be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl, and that's what I'm saying right here.
who do you have? Who
How
do
you
you have?
feel about it?
Who do you, I totally disagree. Who do you have being the NFC?
I don't have to pick another team that's going to represent the NFC. I got 15 other teams. I'm just saying the San Francisco 49ers won't represent them.
Let me look at this.
Say I'm wrong.
Let me look at this, man.
Say I'm wrong.
I'm a little. Cleveland actually has me speechless to a point right here because I wasn't expecting his take on Devon A-Chain tonight, and now we go from he's a serviceable quarterback to he won a Super Bowl. Like this is elite that Cleveland is taking.
He will get them a long ways. He's much better than a serviceable quarterback, which is what I thought he was previously. Man, like you said, you can only stat me to death for so long. Like, damn, okay, yeah, I hear you. All I'm saying is the San Francisco 49ers will not represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Your guy Ninja's telling you you're wrong. So I don't know. You guys got some confidence,
and I appreciate his passion, Ninja. I appreciate your passion. I appreciate what you're seeing. I appreciate your conviction,
man. Yeah, he's written in pencil. I like that. I like that. SB, so you're a Niner fan, SB? Are you a Niner fan? Or, I mean, I'm not. I'm getting Niners vibes right here.
Okay, he looks a little bit. Looks good, a little bit more on paper. He looks good on the field as well. So
I mean, again, against a team. I don't know. Did you hear what do you have to say? Laugh now, cry later. Did you hear that? We make it personal. Trust we have something for them. Dog, you can't say that after you get blow up by 30 points. Like, I really think somebody should take the mic from him. Like, he shouldn't be doing that podcast by himself. I mean, they should call me.
I'm going to get this one over the Chargers this weekend, and then they move on. We'll see what happens.
You just trying to gloss. You think I'm gonna gloss over that right now?
What'd I say?
You think I'm going to gloss? I really don't think he should be doing this podcast alone. He's sticking his foot in his mouth week after week. Okay, again, well, after you get beat by 30 points, you can't say now we're gonna make it personal. Dog, you know it was personal going to the game. Like, and they put you mad because
when now he's gonna have some diet restrictions, get a little bit more sleep, get a little bit more hydrated, take that next step.
All right, fans. So as much as it was kind of a watershed moment that I got Cleveland to admit that he was wrong about Brock Purdy. To lead the Packers to the playoffs this season. I didn't expect Jordan Love to be competing for the NFC Championship. But I expect Jordan Love to be stinking up the joint every night. 3 games with triple interceptions. Jordan Love, he looks the part. He certainly looks. When he drops back, he got a nice rhythm. He got a nice throw. The ball comes out of his hand well, but on the field, he ain't getting it done. And I don't know if this can change. I don't know if he's not reading the defense. I mean, the Chargers, and I'm not saying Matt LaFleur is one of the better coaches in the NFL, but he was handcuffed. Jordan Love physically handcuffed the Packers on that game Monday night against the Raiders, and LaFleur didn't even want to call a pass play because Jordan Love is not getting it done. Cleveland, what do you see about Jordan Love? And am I being too harsh on Jordan Love?
No, Cam, you just fell in love with him a little bit too much early in the season. And as we always talk about on this show, and the thing that I am the biggest proponent on is what separates you from, being good or being great or being exposed is that as the season wears on, there's too much what, Cam?
I'm in the book, but he ain't even had a full
Mistake.
season of the book. He ain't even had a full season of the tape.
Too much tape. He looked amazing against those other teams. Chicago and Minnesota looked amazing. Has not looked amazing in the last 3 games.
Man,
wonder why.
Hey, SB, what's up with your boy Jordan Love? Because I was high on him coming out. I was saying, I think my quote was, he's going to be better than many people expect, and he's looked like absolute trash. Absolute trash.
The last 3 games. The first 2 games, he was looking to me, right? He was comfortable and in the pocket and poised and ready for this opportunity. Okay.
McDaniels even gave them the ball back. He elected to kick a field goal. It was 4th and 1. You get the first down, you can run out the clock. They were up 4. You get the first down, you can run out the clock. Or you kick a field goal, you make it a 7-point game, and you give them like 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go to score. McDaniels elected to kick the field goal. They end up missing a field goal, which was absolutely ridiculous. Have some confidence in your team. And see, everybody want to get on Staley for going for it on 4th down. That's one situation where you go for it on 4th down. You go for it on 4th and 1, you go for it, and then you seal the game right there. Have some confidence in your team. McDaniels also has one of the best running backs in the league. The guy who had the most yards from scrimmage last season. So I don't know why you don't go for it on 4th and 1. But he elected to kick the field goal, miss the field goal, and open the door for Green Bay to just go down and score a touchdown and win the game. And again, Jordan Love couldn't do it. Aaron Jones, being with Aaron Jones hurts. I don't know if that's the reason, bro. I don't know if that's the reason. Aaron Jones is effective. I grant you that. Aaron Jones is a good running back. I grant you that. But dog has looked terrible. That ain't the reason. That Aaron Jones ain't out there running routes for him. He hit Watson on one pass because there was a blown coverage. Like Watson had 2 catches that game. Like I don't know if it's totally Aaron Jones, but okay, I can see what you're saying. I just don't know if that's totally the reason. But McDaniels had a chance to win that game. He went for it. He kicked the field goal, missed the field goal, and give Green Bay the ball back late in the game, and Love couldn't get it done. I was just again, as high as I was on Brock Purdy week after week after week, just being consistent quarterback, Jordan Love he's been totally disappointing through 5 weeks of the season. Totally disappointing. The Ravens, Cleveland. The Ravens fall to the Steelers, and you're going to give me this Mike Tomlin and how effective he is, how he has these guys playing good football. They got lucky. The Ravens receivers didn't help Lamar out, but also I haven't seen any difference in this new offense that the Ravens have. I haven't seen it. Have you seen a difference in the new offense that the Ravens have with their new offensive coordinator?
Most definitely. Lamar Jackson is not locked in just one receiver. He has multiple receivers to go to. They move the ball around. Mark Andrews is having a great season, and it certainly showed in that game. And they don't ask Lamar to put the team on his back and carry them, to the promised land. He doesn't have to control the football every single play. However, it is the Baltimore Ravens, and what they do is they play down to their competition. They don't take it seriously until the game is in jeopardy, and they play with their food. Like Giannis
That's a great
said,
point.
very early, when you play with your food, bad things can happen. There's no way they should have lost to the Indianapolis Colts in that game they lost. There's no way they should have lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, did they one offensive touchdown? I mean, that's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
The Steelers look just as bad, but they end up winning the game.
They're just as bad, but you let them around. You let special teams play a part. You get a blocked punt in the end zone. I mean, it's just the Baltimore Ravens do not have a sense of urgency until it's too late.
So is that the coach? Or is that the coach or the quarterback, Cleveland?
It's the entire team. It's the entire organization. Nobody takes it seriously until it's like, oh, we're down by 4. Oh, if we don't actually get in the field goal range, we're going to lose this game. They always do that. And then they get into games where like, okay, now you're taking it seriously, but you're a player or two from losing this game, and all of a sudden you're 3-2.
You don't
should be 5-0.
I don't know about 5-0, but
they should have beat the Colts and they should have beat the Steelers. So what are we talking about here? They're 3-2, right?
Yeah, you don't think that's I mean, that has to be one, Cleveland. We got to put it on the coach or the quarterback. Like, as much as I like Harbaugh,
if it's either or, then it's got to be on the quarterback.
There you go. There you go. You're right.
I don't really feel it's either or. I feel like it's really from the top down. They don't like take it seriously, and then they'll win games like they shouldn't win by like 15 points, and then they'll lose games they shouldn't lose by like a field goal in overtime. Like, wow, they lost to a Colts. They lost to a Colts team without their starting quarterback.
Well, hold on. Wait. Slow down.
Their starting quarterback.
Slow down. I know you don't want to give the dude from Wazoo any credit. I know that. We get that. Fans understand that. But Minshew's not a bum. Will you admit that? He's not complete trash.
Minshew's not a bum.
So, I mean, Minshew is a decent backup quarterback. If you have Minshew, if he's coming off your bench, you're like, oh, we might have a chance.
Cameron, they were at home. They were browbeating them all game long. They let the game get too close, and then they got tied, and they went into overtime, and then they didn't get their pass interference call, and they lost the game. They were beating the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers had a first down in the first half. Beating them to death. It's 10-3, and then it's 10-5, and then it's 10-8, and then it's 15-10. It's like, what is going on here? Like, why are you letting this be a game? You do it all the time.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with your philosophy on the Ravens. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. However, when you go to just the Colts and Minshew, you got to give Minshew a little credit for it.
Man, look, I gave him a little credit, man. Why you keep bringing up Minshew, man? They got other players on the team. Jonathan Taylor, Zaire Franklin is a G.
Hasn't played.
Anthony Richardson. I mean, until he got hurt, was wow. He was certainly looking the part. So, yeah, we don't got to go to all this Minshew stuff, man. Move along.
Man, at least you said his name.
Yeah, move along from that.
I mean, who did they beat this weekend? Who did they beat real quick before we get off of Minshew? Who did they beat this weekend? Do you recall?
They did win a game against the Tennessee Titans, who gave a valiant effort. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins looked sensational. That defense looked incredible. If they could have kept Ryan Tannehill a little bit more upright.
If they could have kept him upright, or if he made made another play or two, they might have did something that game.
Okay, well,
All right, this is a conversation I really don't want to have with you, but this is the Voice of the Fans show. We got to be up. We got to be honest. We got to be honest with our assessments.
Okay.
We got to be honest with our opinions.
Okay.
The Aces are just destroying the Liberty, man. I don't know if you caught any of this game, but they were up. They were up by, it was what, 20 to 2 to start the game. Is the WNBA, is this the best out of 3 or the best out of 5? Do you recall in this?
I don't recall. I was hoping you could clarify for me. I'm hoping it's 3 out of 5.
Yeah, because if it's not 3, let me look real quick. If it's not 3 out of 5, this is over tonight. And I can't imagine it's 2 games. You've got to win 2 games to be, and it's over. You get a championship. Let me see. Yeah, game 2 standing. I think I'm gonna go with 3 out of 5. I'm gonna go with 3 out of 5, but they're waxing them right now. It's a minute 40 to go, 99 to 74.
Ooh.
99. Yeah, it can't be over tonight. It can't be. Again, fans, Voice of the Fans podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in to Voice of the Fans. This is a NFL recap of Week 5 in NFL in Cleveland. Over the last 2 weeks, Cleveland don't want to give credit to some teams in the NFL. Cleveland. Over the last 2 weeks, the New England Patriots had given up 72 points and scored 3 points. There's a discrepancy. Cleveland has 69 points in the last 2 weeks. Is this the last season Bill Belichick coaches the New England Patriots? I asked you this question last year, and you were emphatic, like, no, he has carte blanche until he gives up the keys. Like, nobody's coming to him asking for the keys to the car. Has your mind changed on this situation, Cleveland?
No, he gets 1 more year.
Oh, you just say he gets 1 more year. You last year you told me no, they can't even address this topic with him. Until he turns over the keys, nobody can ask him for the keys. It's kind of dialed back a little bit anyway.
Well, Cameron, a few things here. Okay. a few things. Since you didn't open up the door for me.
I tell you, fans, I did not want to have a conversation with this dude. I did not want to have this conversation.
I know it hurts. I didn't expect for him just to get the shit kicked out of him. Like, okay. Just the snot piss kicked out of him all over the field in every facet of the game. I mean, I've been listening to you for too long. This defensive mastermind, the greatest coach of our time, of our generation, and he can always put people in the right place to make plays. So listening to you a little bit too much, giving him the carte blanche. And of course, yes, 6 Super Bowls. That carries you at least 3 seasons,
8.
But it's been 3 seasons. And that owner is not one of those sit back and that's okay. We're doing things for the community and we're uplifting people. And no, that's not what Bob Kraft's about. So yeah. And plus, you made it a point to be me or him. We chose you. Other dude went, got his ring without you. You've only made the playoffs 1 time without him, Playboy. And it's not going to be this year, and it's not going to be next year, And it's probably not going to be the year after that. So, what do you do from here? Do you trust the 87-year-old Bill Belichick to build this thing back up from the ground from scratch?
How old is he? How old is he?
87, 88 years old, something like that. Do you trust him to build it back up from scratch?
Oh my goodness gracious!
Cutting people for being 2 minutes late to practice? I don't know. In this day and age, I don't know. Mac Jones is your quarterback. Zappy's your backup. Don't lost Christian Gonzalez. I mean, I don't know. It looks like a hot mess over there. I mean, was he over under 4 games this season?
I mean, come on, man. It's all bad over there. It's all bad. And as you mentioned, it's not like there's anything to look forward to. The players, Christian Gonzalez go down. UW grad, right?
Oregon, man, don't.
Gonzalez didn't go to UW.
Oregon.
Oh, my bad. So they're one of their star rookies go down. They have to go back to the Chargers to pick up get J.C. Jackson, who shined for them last year. I mean, this will be kind of a telltale for we'll get to Staley, but this will be a telltale for Staley. Like, he was a Pro Bowl cornerback for Bill Belichick. He gets to Los Angeles. Granted, there were some off the field situations that didn't allow him to kickstart his career with the Chargers. But other than that, he gets the Chargers and it gets toasted. He tells the reporter he's confused about what's going on in the Chargers camp, and then next week they ship him out. So we'll see kind of with that talent, if Bill Belichick is able to get the best out of him and he makes him a Pro Bowl cornerback, that's going to be very interesting to see. But there's only a couple really studs on that defense, and as a whole, they're not getting it done. And that's supposed to be, as we talk about the Staley and the Chargers, that's supposed to be his bread and butter. But they're giving up there's a 69-point differential. Now, again, you don't expect your defense to score points, but the offense, I mean, there hasn't been. I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it, but since that guy went out to Tampa, there hasn't been much to consider on that side of the ball.
Cam, I think what you're hating to say is that talent trumps coaching. I think that's what you're hating to say.
Again, what I'm saying is,
you just can't just go grab some pebbles and just throw them together because you know how to align them if they're not the right pieces, man. If they're not talented pieces,
oh my goodness,
all of that stuff that you draw up on the thing, it just doesn't work the same way.
Oh my goodness gracious! Come on, Bill, get it together, man. I can't have this conversation with this dude, man. I can't have this conversation.
I know you hate having to come back every time.
I can't have
God,
Bill.
Why can't he just coach him up? Why don't those schemes work the same way with just anybody?
Kraft may be sending the henchmen. Man.
Weird, huh?
To be honest with you, Kraft may be sending the henchmen. Over the next 3 games, they go. This is going to be an interesting game though, because they go to Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. They play his pupil. Just talked about how idiotic McDaniel was against the Green Bay Packers.
They won that game, right?
No, the Raiders won that game.
Okay, cool. So they won that game. Yeah.
Then they go to Buffalo, then they welcome Buffalo. Then they go to Miami. Then they go to Washington, and they had a coach before their bye. Who do they beat? Who do they beat in these next 5 weeks?
Cam, I really can't say. And
I mean, they should be able to beat the Raiders. They should be able to beat the Raiders. They can't. They're not going to beat Buffalo. They're not going to beat Miami. Washington, Howe, Minshew.
Well, hey Cam, Bill Belichick is coached in some capacity in 25% of the Super Bowls, right?
Oh my goodness!
But he had a lot of talent when he was doing that. Right now, he has no talent, and so he's gonna lose all those games.
So I give him 2 wins out of the next 5.
You give him 2 wins.
2 wins. I'm gonna say he beat.
Which 2 wins you give him?
I'm gonna give him Howe, and I'm gonna give him Minshew. So that's 2 of the next 5 games. That'll be 3-9. Or excuse me, that'll be 3 and.
So you're hoping they can beat
3 and
Gardner
7.
Minshew, and you're hoping they can beat Sam Howell because you have actually no idea what they're going to look like 3 weeks from now.
I mean, you can't scheme up something.
Do you even?
You can't scheme up something against Sam Howell
in 3 weeks.
You can't scheme up something against Sam Howell. I mean, come on. I mean the bye week they may be making a change. I mean, come on. I mean, come on, Bill.
Will they scheme up against Derek Carr?
I mean, what are you talking about? Derek Carr, New Orleans. New Orleans has a good defense. New Orleans has a good defense, and they couldn't get no points on the board. So,
okay.
Kraft, I don't know. I don't know if Kraft might be on the phone. Kraft might be on the phone. So the Jets beat the Broncos in the Hackett Bowl, and Hackett versus Peyton Bowl. I mean, did you see anything out of the Jets that? I mean, I know you and Saleh was talking preseason like this might have been a Super Bowl team. Did you see anything out of Saleh, or anything out of the Jets that gave you hope that they can change this thing around?
No, not permanently. I saw the same things that I saw previously, which is why Aaron Rodgers was brought into town. They have a really, really solid defense. They have a great running game.
Is the defense that solid though?
Yeah. It really, really is. The reason that you don't see the results is because the offense puts them in such disadvantageous situations that they're always like trying to stop a team from like the 40 from scoring. It's like that's kind of hard to do every time you take the field, man.
I mean, if you say so.
Yeah, I say so.
If you say so, I don't pay to do that.
I know you don't like them.
So the Chiefs beat the Vikings this week, and I know you don't like to be stats. I know you don't like stats, but tell me what you think of this. This is kind of a peculiar stat to me, and I like Mahomes. You know what I feel about Mahomes. I needed to see Mahomes a year before everybody else saw Mahomes. I want to see him a year before that. Mahomes becomes the 10th quarterback to beat all 31 NFL teams. He's the first one to do this by age 30. Like, this seems more like a scheduling stat to me than a Mahomes per se stat to me. Obviously, he beat all the teams. The teams he played, the Chiefs, beat everybody they play. Is that more scheduling than actually Mahomes going to?
Meaningless stat, Cam. You were right. You were right in your assessment. It means nothing. Moving right along, man. Moving right along. How would you ever be able to know what that even means? I mean, you beat every other team in the league. That's cool. I mean, how many other times were all the other teams in the league on your schedule?
Yeah.
There's no way to correlate what that even means.
Yeah, that's a scheduling thing. I mean, somebody's spending too much
time. No, they're just making up stuff to make it look cool, and wow, another accomplishment for no reason.
Okay. The Bengals woke up against the Cardinals. I mean, was that good chase? Was that good Joe? Chase 15 catches and 3 TDs. What you think about the Bengals coming alive?
I'm not quite sure if I can trust it, but it looked great to see the most devastating offensive play in football
Oh,
kind of reinvent itself, or get re-energized.
here's the answer to your question, Ninja or SB. Excuse me. He doesn't trust it. Is it you don't trust it because you see them next week or what? Why don't you trust it?
It's just taken a long time to get to this point. Whether that is due to Joe Burrow and his calf, or whether that's just due to the timing being off. But I would have liked to see that more like about week 3 than week 5. But now that we've seen it, is there any stopping that? I mean, if it's not, it's one of those things. Like if that is on, then it's over.
I mean, so is it on or is it on?
Can't tell. It's only been one game. That's what I'm saying. And it was against Arizona. So how do we know? We don't. That's why I say I can't trust it just yet.
I mean, I expect you to have a little bit more confidence in what you're seeing, and you have no confidence in what you're seeing. That's what it sounds like.
I have a little bit of confidence in what I'm seeing. I like the fact that JB got out the pocket, scrambled, slid, 12, 13 yards. That's cool. That touch, that back shoulder, that that stuff in the end zone. I mean, Jamar Chase is hard to cover, man. So I mean, if they can get back to that, then we'll see. But tough test this weekend.
Tough test this weekend. All right, we're gonna get to that prediction here in a minute, but I mean, it's curious how you not really ready to open up the veil on these guys. I mean, that's I find that kind of curious. And I guess if that's your opponent, you don't want to put too much on the.
Well, I mean, what is so curious about that? I mean, that's the first game that Joe Burrow threw an offensive touchdown, right? Or the second game? Maybe one other offensive touchdown in the other 4 games. I mean, the offense has not looked very fluid or potent, very stagnant to this point. And then against the Arizona Cardinals, they unleashed on them. Well, that's cool. Arizona Cardinals and stuff. But yeah, the schedule gets a lot thicker going down the stretch.
Well, you just discounting teams and what they're doing in this week in the NFL. Like the NFL is nothing. Like these aren't NFL players. That's kind of what's getting to me. I haven't heard you discount what's happening in the NFL like this before. This is
What do you mean?
I mean, I'll show you this discounting what A-Chain has done because he's playing against NFL bums. You're saying that what the Bengals has done. You don't want to give the Minshew any credit because of what he's done is he's playing against bums. Or excuse me, you want to give Baltimore credit because they're playing against even though they play with their food, they're playing against bums. Now you're saying what the Bengals is doing is they're playing against they haven't done anything yet. After we see the kid come back from injury, he's been injured for 3 weeks. He comes back and he finally has a good game. You're like, I don't know if I can trust it. I haven't heard you discount the NFL like this before.
Those are all different scenarios.
But it's all scenarios of you discounting what's happening in the NFL. Like this is
no. I'm just being very much a realist as to what's going on. I mean, Joe Burrow lit up the Arizona Cardinals. That's cool. You're right. That is a professional NFL team. It's not like lighting up the San Francisco 49ers. It's not like lighting up the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, it's not the same thing.
Okay. All right. Whatever happened to the Bears got their first win against your Commanders? I mean, did you just completely jump off the Commander bandwagon?
Completely.
I mean, what happened to your guy Chase?
I don't. He's
Oh, you don't even know him now. You don't even know.
I don't even know him now.
You don't even know who that is.
I don't even know him now.
Oh, so the Bears get their first win against some Commanders. Is everything all good now? Everything all good?
No, they still suck.
The Bears still suck.
Bears still suck.
Yeah, yeah, I give you that. Yeah, I give you that. But Cleveland don't want to give nobody no credit now. All of a sudden, he don't want to give nobody any credit. So I'm gonna force you to give somebody some credit now. What was the most impressive win of the weekend?
The most impressive win of the weekend, I'm going to have to say, would be the Indianapolis Colts pulling that out.
You gonna give the more Indianapolis Colts is more impressive than the Niners smacking down the Cowboys?
That's a good win. That was a good win. I mean, they were in control. They did what they were supposed to do at home. You know what I'm saying? They were able to control tempo, but the Colts, I mean, without their starting quarterback, under adverse situations, were able to pull that out. That was a big win. However,
against the
I've gone back and forth a little bit about this, and I would like your opinion on this. What about the Jacksonville Jaguars posting up in England for 2 weeks and like, yeah, this is our city now. This is how we get down. And then Buffalo Bills come to town. They're supposed to maul those guys, and they get mauled.
Well, a couple of things.
Man, don't be making those excuses for them Buffalo Bills, man. I don't want to hear it.
I'm not absolutely what
other than
you can't expect me to
Milano going out. That was big.
That was big. I mean, but your guy isn't Mr. Man back?
Von Miller's not 100%, not wreaking havoc like that. So no.
Okay, but
there's no way that team that was supposed to be so formidable, top 5 in the league, should lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So a couple of things. I mean, you said it. The Jacksonville Jaguars went there and posted up for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Like if you remember, Cleveland, there was legitimate conversation about the Jags,
moving the franchise to London and being over there permanently.
There was a legitimate conversation. That was a legitimate conversation.
It was.
And having made that trip from the East Coast is like a 6-hour flight. So it's like Jacksonville flying to play the Seahawks. Is a very similar trip. From Florida, from where they are, that's really like the Jacksonville Jaguars flying to play the Seahawks. If another team fly from the East Coast to go play them. So that's what makes that conceivable, if you will. So by them doing that, I mean, that's an NFL branding. I'm not sure that I'm feeling that move at all because this is an NFL team. This is American football. They don't even play the game over there. It's different. It would be different if the NBA says we're going to have a European league. Well,
yeah, I mean they get 8 games over there, man. That's a huge market, man.
No. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, they don't play that, right? They don't play the game over there. They don't. There's not European. There's not American football in Europe.
Yeah, but they're not trying to recruit or get talent from there, Cam. They're just trying to bring the brand to that part of the world.
So that should be a preseason game.
It shouldn't. Because they bring so much more to it for an entire week.
No. Well, yes.
They bring the NFL to London for an entire week. They mean the NFL to Germany for an entire week.
But Cleveland, so having been to a game over there, it's again, if there was an NBA team, we're talking about NBA going over there and playing a weekend.
But Cam, you just said look how close they were to actually getting an NFL team.
But that's because the owner, Jacksonville, is looking for some publicity, and when he takes over the team, he's looking to take these guys to the next market. The team, take them to the next level. How do you do that? Okay, we're a small team in America. We're in a small town America. Let's go to London and get some more fans. That's marketing. I understand what the owner's trying to do. He has some experience over there. He got some business over there. Let's market the team over in London, and we'll have the Jacksonville Jaguars will be a worldwide team. I get it from his standpoint. From the NFL standpoint, that's why they go over there and post up. But I think if this was the NBA let me make my point. If this is the NBA playing basketball over in Europe, where they actually play is not, they play a closer brand of NBA basketball. They don't play NFL over there, so there's not that many fans in it. When I went to the game, when I went to 2018, watched the Seahawks play the Raiders. There's Sonics jerseys in the building. There's Minnesota T-Wolves jerseys in the building. There's Minnesota Twins jerseys in the building. There's Oakland A's jerseys in the building. It didn't matter.
Yeah, Cam. That's
It was American sports. They're coming out to see American sports. They didn't care who was out there on the field. There wasn't Seattle. Well, there was Seattle Seahawks.
As it progresses, that will change. And if they actually had a team, that would absolutely.
I think it was an American sports convention, is what it was. It wasn't an NFL football game. If you understand what I'm saying, it was the week there. The ceremonies was
that was like 5 years ago. That's cool. But now you have a team
much has changed. I can't say that. I can't say that much has changed.
How can you say that? You haven't been there.
Fair enough.
And Jacksonville was there for 2 weeks. They played 2 games, and Jacksonville played a game last year, and Jacksonville played a game the year before that. So if nothing else, they like the Jacksonville Jaguars. So they at least have one team to rally around, and if they got an actual franchise, and then all the other teams came over.
How many were they wearing a Tony Baselli jersey? I mean, they're wearing a Tony Baselli jersey.
I didn't say
who was your quarterback who went to the
say a long story tradition.
Yeah, there's not a story tradition. So I mean, what are they? I doubt there's any Fred Taylor jerseys being sold.
No Fred Taylors, no Mark Brunells, there's no Keenan McCardles, there's no Jimmy Smith.
Talk about again, they're gonna get a Trevor Lawrence jersey who's been in the league 3 years.
Yeah,
we don't even know who he is.
Right there,
like I don't know.
Travis Etienne's. Yeah,
I mean,
start there.
I'm not convinced.
Start somewhere.
I'm not convinced that they're bought the market over. I mean, like you said, they're the most team that the most familiar team with that. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily fans over there. But to your point, that's an advantage Jacksonville for hanging out over there for 2.5 weeks, and then the Bills flying in Friday night to play the game on Sunday morning. Like, are they really into the game? They'll probably wake up would you say flying East Coast to West Coast. You're going to give that team making that longer flight the advantage, right? They have to change time zones and all that. Like, yeah, advantage Jacksonville. Buffalo has to fly into that situation. So kudos to. I mean, it's kind of a tough situation for the Bills to win that.
Oh man, I don't want to hear. Man, you're giving the Jacksonville Jaguars too much credit, and the Bills not enough blame.
Well, I mean, you asked me. You asked me what the thing is. I can understand that's an understandable loss. Cleveland, you make that.
It's not an understandable loss. That team is better than that other team.
You like to make the point that a team flying from the East Coast, from the West Coast to the East Coast, having to play that 1:00 game.
That's true, but they've been there for 2 weeks. These guys, they've been away from their family and friends for a long time.
No, Jacksonville got to take their family and friends over there.
I know.
For 2 weeks. They took their family with.
You can't bring your environment to London. I mean, you can bring, certain people, but that's
their wags have came. Wives and girlfriends went to Jacksonville went to London with them.
So your third grader, they just taking 2 weeks out of school, or
probably
your grandma in the hospital. She just pick her up and move her to, or you can't just move your whole life to somewhere else. If you're younger and you have that opportunity, that's great.
Yeah, we're talking about 20. We're talking about 20-something-year-olds.
Why are we talking so much about the Jacksonville Jaguars, man?
You asked about the Jacksonville Jaguars posting up in London.
Not asking they posted up in London. They won 2 games. Let's move on.
I mean, that's what advantage Jacksonville for getting them post up for 2 weeks.
Too much props on the Jags, man.
I mean, I think it's a clear scheduling advantage. Clearly, it's a scheduling advantage. But Cleveland, you're wrong when you say the most impressive win was the Colts, man. Come on, stop it. I had the 49ers, I had the Bengals, and then I had the Colts. I couldn't decide on the third team, but I had the Falcons and the Colts. I mean, the Falcons coming back. I thought their win was kind of a gutsy win when they came back against the Texans, against your Texans. It was kind of a tit for tat right there. The Texans went down and scored a touchdown, like with just enough time for Ritter to come back and score a touchdown, and Ritter got the job done. Unlike the Jordan Love, young quarterback, when you get an opportunity to drive your team down and score, Ritter did that. So that was a kind of a impressive. It was okay. I mean, he played the Houston Texans, so it was that was a quality win. That was a win he certainly and the Falcons can hang their hat on. Like, okay, he got it done. We can hang our hat on that. Now we can look at the film and see what he did. So kudos to them. The worst loss of the weekend, what was your worst loss be this past weekend?
The worst loss of the weekend.
I gave you a couple of mine. I thought the Patriots.
It would have to be the New England Patriots, man.
Yeah, the Patriots, the Packers were some terrible losses. The Cowboys talking all their junk, and they just got smacked around. And then the Ravens, who I thought was another bad loss. As you mentioned, you made a great point. The Ravens play down to the competition. We're going to have to decide. We're going to have to ultimately come up with the idea of, is that coaching or is that the quarterback? Why they play down to their competition, that's kind of unacceptable. They should be better than that, but that's a very good point you make. Cleveland, last week, we did our supremacy rankings that started last week. We both had San Francisco we both had San Francisco, the Eagles, KC, and Buffalo, and I had Miami. You had Dallas, rounding out our top 5 in the supremacy rankings. This week, let's take a look at how they changed Cleveland. Let me share this. Can you see this?
Yes.
All right. This is the last week. This week, obviously, I have the Niners. Cleveland still has the Niners, the Eagles, the Chiefs, Dolphins. You moved the Dolphins up. Look at that. Move the Dolphins up now. Even though the Bills beat the Dolphins a couple weeks ago, that loss, as you mentioned, that we just talked about, going to Jacksonville, they're supposed to win that game. I have to put the Dolphins ahead of them. And look who slides in there. You finally want to give the Detroit Lions some credit, huh?
I mean, some.
Or is that
I had some friends around the town, around 206, was like, hey man, the Hawks beat them guys. I mean, why are they not, why are they not in the 5 instead of Detroit? And I was like, well, Detroit did beat the defending Super Bowl champions, and that's why it is for now. Now,
I know what it
is. If the Seahawks beat the Cincinnati Bengals, best believe that'll be flipped around.
Oh yeah, I know you're trying to sandbag right here. You try to sandbag. So let's look at last week, fans. This is how our pick segment broke down last week. Washington, Buffalo, Houston all disappointed me. I had the Indy over the over the Titans. I'm not sure why you still riding with Ryan Tannehill. You riding with that cat. And Baltimore let me down. Denver let me down. They got manhandled against. We're gonna see Denver get smacked around again tomorrow. They got manhandled. Is Peyton or Russell? Who's end up walking the plank here?
Oh, I think it'll be Russell.
Okay, I mean, but Russell's not having a terrible season.
No, not at all.
I mean, but it is the coach usually.
No, it's usually the talent, but in this case, the coach is such a overbearing, polarizing figure that he can just throw the quarterback under the bus. Yeah.
Looking at it, Green Bay, as I mentioned, let me down against the Raiders. So picks against the spread. I only got one right. Houston, as I mentioned, talked about that when the Falcons came back to win that. Baltimore let me down there. Who'd you have? Carolina let you down, and Houston let you down. Well, Houston, you won on that one. And
No. We both lost on Houston. You won on Miami, and I won on Kansas City. Houston lost by 2.
yeah, okay. So there's our picks. Our picks for the year: Cleveland 67% to 64%. And then, as I mentioned, fans, like this was a no-brainer here. Cleveland was leading this category for the last 5 weeks. I knew I was coming back. So 85% correct against our picks against our confidence picks. Who'd you have? Buffalo and Washington? Oh yeah. No wonder you. No wonder you was pretty upset about Buffalo, huh?
For
No
sure.
wonder. No wonder you Buffalo, and then you just disown the Commander. Just disown them completely.
Sold them.
I get it. I get it. Fans, these are my games of the week. My games of the week coming into this week is the Seahawks versus the Bengals. Another reason Cleveland was hesitant to give Joe Burrow any credit because he didn't want to put no bulletin board material up on the wall. I get it. The Colts against the Jaguars. I think this is going to be. I'm not a fan of either one of the teams, but just looking at the schedule of games we have this week, I think this was one of the most competitive games in their division rival. I think the Colts with Minshew, they're going to Jacksonville. Can they get a win? Jacksonville. We talked about how they got a couple wins that probably was undeserving, but let's see if the Colts can step up and beat the Jaguars. Cowboys, Chargers. I mean, we're close to a winner go home or loser goes home scenario here. The Cowboys, they lose to the Chargers. They lose back-to-back games. Like that's going to be an ugly situation for them, right? And then the Chargers, they need to get on the. They need this win. The Chargers need this win bad. So this is my games of the week right here. Let's look here at the way our picks go down. We agree, but I just point out the games we disagree on. There's Cleveland riding with Tennessee again. I'm not sure what your infatuation with Ryan Tannehill is. I don't know. I told you I thought ATL they found something in Ritter. They're going to carry this confidence into against the Commanders. Jacksonville, New Orleans. You got Houston beating New Orleans. Why you got Houston beating New Orleans?
I just like to play a CJ Stroud. They're coming home. I'm not that enamored with the Saints offense, but that's probably one that after listening to a little bit more assessment from the experts, I may have changed that, but I'll stay with it. I'll stay with the Titans or the Texans, excuse me.
Yeah, the New Orleans have a better defense, and then they have a veteran quarterback. So I'll go with the veteran QB over the.
And Kamara looked pretty fluid last week. So
yeah, if the Atlanta Falcons can beat up on Texans, I mean New Orleans should be able to as well. I got New England over the Raiders. I got the
explain that, Cam. What's your logic on that one?
I got Bill over the
over his
Daniels. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Beating the people. Yes, that's what I'm
okay. Okay. With that squad?
And they're desperate. They're desperate. I mean, they're desperate.
Because Bill's desperate to get a win. That's why you have it? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I have it.
Okay, fans. He won't relent. He don't understand this yet, but okay.
They're desperate. The Chargers, another desperate team. 2-2, coming off the bye.
It's gonna hurt, huh?
2-2 coming off the bye.
It's gonna hurt, huh?
I mean, they're gonna go.
Yeah, this one's gonna hurt, huh?
Ooh, this is gonna be a tough one. And Dallas, I mean, Dallas had I mean, that's that type of whooping they took is kind of hard to recover from, isn't it?
Against the 49ers, but this Chargers defense, I don't think it's quite as formidable as the 49ers defense. And Cam, who's going to be a home game for again? The Cowboys or the Chargers?
It's in Los Angeles.
I know where it's at. That's not the question that I asked you. I know the geographic location of the game.
Yeah,
that's not the question that I asked you.
It's going to be
a home crowd for the Chargers or the Cowboys.
The Chargers logo is going to be on the midfield. Cool.
So that means the Cowboys fans.
The Chargers logo.
Because otherwise, he just would have said the Chargers, and he has not said that to this point. So that means it's going to be a home game for the Cowboys. 70-30.
Yeah, that's about right. It might be 75-25. That's about right. Picks against the spread. I got the Atlanta beating over the what you call it, the Commanders, San
Okay.
Francisco, and I got the Chargers. I'm going with the Chargers.
Okay, cool.
And so, we agree on one of those games. You got KC by 10.5 over the Broncos. Woo, beat down, huh?
Browbeating.
And the Bucks. I can't be mad at you. I can't be mad at you there. Confidence.
No, Lions. Lions. Yeah, the Lions.
I'm sorry.
I got the Lions.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said the Bucks.
I'm sorry. Oh, you got the Lions over the Bucks. My bad.
Yeah.
I got New Orleans, Miami, Philly, Buffalo, and KC. You got
Ooh, get that Buffalo at 4. I like it.
Yeah.
KC, you was talking about me in the spread, but we both lockstep. You don't have quite as much confidence in the Dolphins, I see. We're both on the same with the Eagles. Okay.
The only difference is New Orleans. I got New Orleans in there. You got San Fran. So we'll see how things transpire, fans. And these are our playoff picks right here for the season. Cleveland trying to change it. He's trying to make me change them up by the end of the show. And I'm going to take. In fact, I'm fans right now. You see, I had the Eagles. I got the Chiefs going for the Super Bowl in the AFC. I got the Eagles in the NFC, but I'm making a change right now because Cleveland is put something on the table. What you put on the table, Cleveland? You put something on the table?
But I mean, what did I say, Cam?
I mean, I just want to know so we can get it right here. Didn't you put something on the table earlier?
But what did I say, Cam?
The 49ers will not win the NFC. Did you say that?
I did say that.
And that's what I'm putting on the table right now. I'm wanting to take that money from you for what's the deal?
It's 2 elbows that the 49ers will not make the Super Bowl.
Let me find my banner. Let me find my banner right here. So make sure that we can get this down and we can remember this one. Because I know what Cleveland to do.
Mm-hmm.
Create a banner.
Oh man, I mean, can you clear out the banners from like the last 5 years? For crying out loud. Is he even still in the league?
Did you see what he say? Is he still in the league? Ah, that's funny. What do we say? 49ers won't win the AFC?
The San Francisco 49ers will not play in the Super Bowl. And you said they will, right? So I just want to be clear. Can I hear it come out of your mouth?
Oh, I'm taking
I said it on the other side, but can you say the San Francisco 49ers will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl?
I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Okay, cool.
And we're putting what are we putting on this?
2 elbows. 2 elbows of ribs. Over 4 different shows.
49ers will play in the Super Bowl.
Half pound a show for 4 weeks, for a month. Just be rib month. You all right with that?
Yeah, I'm putting it up there.
Okay. I'm just saying, but like for 4 straight weeks, me just eating just succulent, like,
Well, I mean, you're not gonna win this deal, sir.
With the crust, with the burn. Just saying.
49ers will play in the Super Bowl. That's the way for a half pound of ribs. Cleveland
2 pounds. 2 pounds. Which will be split up half a pound a show for 4 weeks. I mean, it just takes too long to eat a pound of ribs, right? Yeah. I mean, you get all full and tired and stuff, and you know what I'm saying? So over the 4 weeks, it just rubs it in just that much more, because you have to watch someone just continue to, salivate over those perfectly made ribs for 4 weeks. I'd rather, rub it in a little bit.
You rather rub it in? Is that what you want? Is that good enough for you? Is that clarity for you right there?
49ers will play in the Super Bowl for 2 pounds of ribs per Cleveland. Says no. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's on there, fans. You guys see it. There's no backtracking from this right here. No backtracking from that right there at all. And he sounds so confident too. That's the funny thing. He just sounds so like so confident, like that's gonna happen. All right, Cleveland. Let's talk about the NBA, man. NBA preseason. Was there any interest in the Clippers in Utah and Seattle? What was it?
I had some friends that actually went to the game, and it looked far more empty than it was last year. Last year was like, ooh, like super enthusiasm. I think that everybody kind of thought like this could be like the start of something big. Like, here comes our franchise back. This year, they were like, nah. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Wait. So last year there really was because you went there
Sorry,
last
the other
year.
way. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
I
Yeah.
mean, you went there last year. And everybody was really thinking that they were going to announce a team coming back.
Very shortly. I mean, last year was the mayor, the governor. I mean, like Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. I mean, like it was like huge.
Who did they play last year? I don't recall who they played. But it was the first game
The
there.
Clippers played. They played Portland, I think.
Was it Portland that they played? I mean,
Yeah, they did play Portland because Chauncey was in the other locker room.
Okay, they played Utah, so that's not really I mean, who that really you gonna go see Claxton? Not Claxton.
Yeah,
Not
Jordan Clarkson.
Clarkson. Yeah, I mean, that's who you're drawing, expecting to draw a crowd. I mean, that wasn't drawing anything. Larry Marketing, I guess some people might have wanted to see Marketing considering the population of Seattle, but I don't think that was an attractive matchup. Number one, the Clippers. I mean, so that wasn't warming Seattle up. It looked like there was some empty seats. I'll say, and watching it on TV, it looked like there
Oh,
was
for sure. Yeah, no, it was visibly apparent, especially when my guy sent me the picture of kind of like the the selfie. Like, oh, that's nothing like it was just last year.
Okay.
You just can't. I mean, you just can't keep stringing people along and they'd be like, oh, okay, yeah.
No, well, I think it's gonna happen. That wasn't a good showing though. But then I think there needs to be more attractive talent out there.
Well, there needs to be more communication as to if this is even going to be a thing. Otherwise, you're just playing with people's emotions, and they don't like that up here.
Well, mark my words, it's gonna be a thing. But I just say last night.
Yeah, that's what they said last year. Mark my words.
No,
yeah, okay.
No. You didn't hear me say it last year. And
everyone else was saying it. It was supposed to be this thing, and like, no.
But yeah, it's still there's gonna be two teams coming into the Seattle and Vegas. Not in 24, 25, but 25.
Been saying that for 3 years. Haven't seen it. So
I've told you my words have not changed. My words have not changed.
Everybody's been saying that. They're not your words, Cam. Everyone's been saying that, but when it doesn't happen over and over again, it's like
Cleveland.
We're just not happy about it.
Nobody is. I don't think it's never been said that it's going to happen in 24, 25, 23, 24. That has not been said. It's you're right. It's been a lot of talk, a lot of bluster, but I will tell you once the CBA needed to get done. The CBA
everybody's tired of hearing about all of the excuses and explanations. The CBA needed to get done. The TV contract needed to get done. The this and this needed to get done. Man, whatever. Team or no team, man. But don't just keep sending us some preseason games with the Clippers and the Jazz. Like, we should just be happy for just seeing some NBA basketball.
Well, I mean, you need to come.
That was cool last year because they thought he was about to say something else, and he didn't. Like, okay.
No, but I mean, they can't announce it yet. They can't
It's like
announce
it's like if you want a major league baseball team and they just keep sending you
the Mariners,
the AAA All Stars, man.
the Mariners.
AAA All Star games in your city, like really? Okay, that's cool. Not even a real game. Okay.
Cleveland, who would you rather? You got a chance to see. I don't know if you saw it on Monday night, the preseason game with OKC and San Antonio. Did you get a glimpse of that? Did you see some
I did
highlights?
not get a chance to see that one.
Um, Chet and Big Vic going at it back and forth. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting game between those guys. Who would you choose to build your team around? Chet or Big Vic?
Big Vic.
That's who you build your team around.
Yes.
The GMs say they will start their team with Jokic. I know I didn't have that option, but the GM said they would build the team around Jokic first, Big Vic, then Giannis. You agree with that assessment?
Maybe Giannis over Big Vic, just because Giannis has proven a little bit more. I mean, obviously, Vic is a unique physical specimen, but we have yet to see how that translates into the NBA. So I would certainly pick the NBA champion over a rookie.
Fair enough. Fair enough. The GMs also say they would. Who would you have take the last shot out of all the players in the NBA? Yeah, give me the three names. Who would you take? Who would you have take the last shot? This is according to the GM survey that was recently posted. Who would you choose to take the last shot? I'm gonna give you the GM's three names, but let me see how far you off. How far are you off?
I would say Steph, Dame, Luka.
Luka to take the last shot. So you're 2 for 3. It's Curry, Durant, and Lillard. So two or three. Luka, you have Luka take the last shot?
I mean, KD. I mean, that's that you can't go wrong with that. 6'11", unstoppable, unguardable. It's probably a better pick than Luka, but I mean, Luka having the ball in his hands,
You go Luka over Booker?
Yeah.
Would you? Interesting. Okay. Couple questions. I gave you last week my top storylines coming into the NBA. I'm gonna add a couple here. Can Sabonis? Let's see how to phrase this question. Centered around the Kings. I know you didn't believe in the Kings last year. The Kings won number 20, kind of like Brock Purdy. I asked you from November.
No, Brock Purdy. So far, Brock Purdy has not lost a regular season game. The Sacramento Kings got into the first round with the champs and got beat up. So
again, kind of like Brock Purdy, who were the Kings since November, were the number 2 team in the Western Conference, and you didn't want to give them no respect at all, going into the playoffs, and then lost.
And then what happened, Cam?
And then you're like, "Yeah, I told you so." Yeah. So let me ask you the question. This is for the Kings to make the finals, the NBA finals. Let's just say the Kings to win the West.
Man, cut that out.
Question.
Cut that. No.
For the Kings,
I will not listen to your question, man. What are you talking about?
For the Kings to win the West, does Sabonis have to be the driving factor, or does De'Aaron Fox have to be the driving factor?
Man, neither one of those cats being the driving factor is leading the Sacramento Kings to the NBA Finals. I'm insulted that you even came up with that question, considering all the other teams that play in the Western Conference.
They were number 2 in the Western Conference last week.
And what happened in the first round? Did they get past the first round?
I mean, they played the Big Brother.
So they didn't get
Big
past the
Brother-
first round.
They took the Big Brother.
So why are you putting them in the NBA Finals and all the other teams got better and they didn't?
They didn't get better, so you don't get better after.
Did they add Bradley Beal? Did they add Chris Paul?
Keep going.
Did they add Chet Holmgren? Did they add Fred VanVleet? I mean, who did the Sacramento Kings add to their roster to make them better?
So Phoenix is the only one of those teams that have a better record this year than the Kings. The Sacramento Kings.
Bro, the Kings will be the number 6 or 7 seed at best, and they may not even make the playoffs. Remember, the New Orleans Pelicans didn't make the playoffs last year, right?
The Sacramento Kings were number 2 in the Western Conference.
They sure were last year.
You think they're just going to fall off?
Yeah. Fall off.
Come on, you're
Okay. I will bet you
You look like a
10
buffoon.
pounds of ribs
You look
that
like
the
a
Sacramento
buffoon.
Kings do not finish 1 or 2 in the Western Conference this year. 10 pounds.
I'm not gonna go that far. Top 4. Let's go. They'll finish in the top 4.
No, you keep throwing this 2 on me like there was 2 last year. No.
Yeah, you're saying there were 2 last year. That's what they did. You can't.
What I'm saying is they're not going to be 2 this year. You keep telling me about all these upgrades to their roster and this and that and that and this. Man, they're not going to be a 2 seed.
That's a long way from not being out of the playoffs. So you said they're not going to be a 2 seed.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but
put 10 pounds on that. Put 10 pounds on that.
177% positive. They will not be a 2 seed.
Put 10 pounds on them not making the playoffs. Put something on that.
Will not.
Oh,
I don't know how injuries are going to transpire. I don't know how coaching changes are going to go.
Exactly. Put 10 pounds on them not making the playoffs, and you got a deal.
Well, Well, the mere fact that you're trying to divert the attention to something other than what I said,
that's exactly what you said. That's exactly what you said. You said you questioned them.
What I said is they wouldn't be a top 2. And then because you understood that they weren't going to be a top 2 and that, once I kind of pushed the chips to the middle, you were like, oh, well, yeah, no, I don't really feel that strongly about that.
Again,
let's try and divert.
You also said they won't make the playoffs. You also said they won't make the playoffs. So put something on that.
No.
Oh, all right. Well, shut up.
Shut about them being the number 2 seed then.
No, I'm just saying that they were the number 2 seed.
Okay, and I'm just saying they're not going to be the number 2 seed.
Okay. The New Orleans Pelicans, like we saw Zion dunk on somebody the other night. Who has the better record? Although they're in different conferences. Who has a better record? Pelicans or the Magic?
Pelicans.
You said that pretty quickly. You don't think much of the Mavericks and your boy Paolo?
Paolo's great. They don't have enough other talent around him. And I was not all that enamored of their draft this year. So I think they gave him really a lot of help.
What rookies are you looking forward to, Cleveland?
Victor Wembanyama.
Okay, we are looking forward to Victor.
I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to any of the other rookies in the draft. No.
What about your guy? Shit, I can't think of his name. How am I having a brain fart? What about your rookie on the Lakers?
On the Lakers.
Yeah, the point guard. Fino.
Man, no. If he can contribute, that's great. Yeah, but no, I'm looking forward to it.
So Vic is the only one you're looking forward to?
Yeah. See what Scoot can do a little bit. I mean, but other than that, I mean, no, not really.
I mean, that's what else. What else are your thoughts? What else are your thoughts? You didn't like my thoughts. You said the James and the Sixers is kind of your third storyline. Big Vic, his debut is your number one storyline. And the Bucks and the Celtics. That's your those are your top three storylines in the NBA, right?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, let's see a little bit about how this Golden State thing is going to work. I think it's going to be a shit show. I mean, I don't think Chris is going to stay healthy, and I don't think he's going to like his role with the team per se.
You got him as the ninth seed. Kings might be.
Stay there, Steve. Stay there, Stephen Jones.
I don't think they're gonna be that far, dog. Come on, they're gonna go from 2 to 9.
What do they do to them? I'm not even.
What do they do to get better? They
Way
played
too early for me to.
What did they do to get better?
Let's
They
hear about this
played the season. They were in. Was the Western Conference strong last year? Was the Western Conference tough division last year?
It is way stronger now.
It was the Western
They're not
Conference
going
tough
to
division
be
last year.
interesting.
Why are you avoiding my question? Yes, they were tough.
The Western Conference is always tough. I mean, that's
okay. They're not just going to fall off like that. They're not just going to fall off.
Oh, man.
They're not just going to fall off.
Yes,
they showed
are.
They were solid last year.
Off of a cliff because everyone else got better and they didn't. They didn't add any talent.
You mentioned Phoenix is the only team that got better. Phoenix got much better than them. Phoenix.
Look, what did I say? I got 10 pounds of ribs on the fact that those cats will not be a number 2 seed this year.
Go jump on with Steven. Jump on with Steven and say they won't make the playoff. That was Steven is saying.
No, once you jump off your number 2 cloud.
Steven hasn't been in the playoff
tournament. Why don't you jump off your number?
Just go ahead and say the Kings will be in the play-in tournament, and you got a deal. No. Say the Kings will be in the play-in tournament.
Go ahead and jump off your number 2 cloud, my dude.
No, they won't be number 2. I'm with you there.
So you with me there.
It's not likely.
Okay. Okay.
It's not likely.
All right. Well, the fans, thanks so much. He has jumped off his number 2 cloud. Okay.
The Thunder, the T-Wolves were injured. True enough. Okay. I mean, the Clippers stay injured.
Clippers, Thunder, T-Wolves injured.
The Kings, just unsure adversity that they faced last year in the playoffs, they're going to be better from that alone.
What adversity did they face in the playoffs?
They lost to the big brother embarrassingly. They were the number 2 seed, and what you can't get off of is saying that what do they do in the playoffs? All of that talk, because you're right. Cleveland, they're listening to guys like you who saying, "Oh, wait till the playoffs happen. Wait till the playoffs happen," and then they lost to their big brother in the playoffs. Like that was abnormal. The Golden State was a one team that they did not want to face in the playoffs.
Because all those other teams, they could have beat them, but just not the Golden State Warriors.
That was a big brother from down the street. That was a big brother from down the street.
It would not have mattered. They were the Sacramento
Kings. Would be in the top 4 of the Western Conference this season.
People were angling to play the Sacramento Kings in the playoffs.
The Mavericks were just figuring things out.
They were.
I mean, the Magic
were.
Mavericks. They won't be who? The Mavericks. They won't be a top 5 seed in the West. Come on, Steven. The Magic's.
How do you know that? I mean, have you?
Kyrie and Luka. Who are they stopping? They're not stopping anybody.
Who's stopping them?
Yeah, dare I say the Kings will have a better record than the Mavericks? Oh, no. I'll go on and say that right now. The Kings will have a better record.
Man, I'm not trying to entertain any other bets with you and your Sacramento Queens other than they will not be a number 2 seed. You can dangle it. You and Mike Brown can dangle around, and you and De'Aaron Fox and
Put
Keegan
some on the Kings.
Murray
Put some
and
on that. The Kings
Sabonis.
will have a better record than the Mavericks, than Dallas Mavericks. Put some on
Nope.
that.
I'm gonna stick
You
to
don't
my
want. I mean,
story.
you
They
can
will
you
not
can
be a
get
number
Cuban
2
to pay for
seed.
that. You
Nope.
might be able to get Mark Cuban to pay for your dinner. Pay for our dinner.
Mm-mm.
I say the Kings. I say the Sacramento Kings will have a better record than your Dallas Mavericks. How
You've
about
already
that?
walked. You've already walked back. They won't be number 2, and I'm good with that.
Steven, you got something on that? Because they'll have a better record. Kyrie and Luka, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis will have a better record than that.
Mm-hmm.
Keegan Murray, they'll be a better team.
Mm-hmm. And that fourth player.
I mean, just those few alone. What do you think about the Grizzlies? Grizzlies is another team. Grizzlies is another team. What do you think about the Grizzlies? Is Derrick Rose will he be able to do a serviceable job in replacement of Ja Morant and keep those guys in the mix in the Western Conference?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, did you just start a sentence with Derrick Rose in 2023-2024 season?
I mean, he's only going to be have to play like
Man,
20.
bro, did you just start a sentence with Derrick Rose
Ooh.
and what he can do in 2023-2024?
Yeah.
I think that's your answer right there, Cam.
Ooh. So you got So you saying no, he won't be a serviceable.
No,
so
he won't. In the Western Conference? Wow.
So there'll be a what? 6 seed. They'll be fighting for playing tournament.
I don't know where they're going to be. It depends on how they are able to adjust to life without Ja. I know the record indicates that. The last couple of years they've been so good without him, and we're 24 now.
They got Marcus Smart now. They got Marcus Smart.
They got Marcus Smart now. Is he gonna get them some buckets?
Well, is it Derrick Rose and Marcus Smart? Desmond Bane. I mean,
I love this, Cam. Keep going. No,
I'm telling you, Desmond Bane.
I know. I love this.
Desmond Bane lied to me.
I love this.
Told me. If you remember Desmond Bane, I asked him specifically, "What do you guys need to get to the next level?"
Throw me Steven Adams at him.
Huh?
Don't throw me Steven Adams too.
I mean, Steven Adams. I mean, that was a big. He was hurt. He was hurt to Steven Jackson. To Steven Jones'
Jaren Jackson Jr. at me. Throw me some more stuff.
No. Listen. In all seriousness, you mentioned Steven Adams, and the guy you didn't mention was Brandon Clark.
I know it. And he's coming back too, huh?
Bro, I mean,
sure.
Adams gives
you might roll out Desmond Clark and
no, listen to you. No.
Sorry. You might roll out Brandon Clark and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane and Derrick Rose and Marcus Smart.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Conference. I think the Grizzlies can be a number 4 seed.
That's a number 4 seed.
They can be a top 4. They can be a top 4.
We were lockstep till you came out with that one. Wow, really?
Yeah, I mean they could be a number 4. Again, Adams was injured the second half of the season. Brandon Clark was injured the second half of the season. So that's going to add more defense and rebounding to the squad. Brandon Clark is an underrated player.
Man, the way you get these two sports confused, it's hilarious, man. Did you just say defense and rebounding in the Western Conference? Is that how this conference is going to be won?
Well, you got to be
like Denver and Golden State.
If they're the only team playing defense, if they're the only playing defense, well, like you do have to be able to score. But if they're the only
you still have not figured this NBA thing out, man, after all these years. That's weird.
Hey, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, the record was they were better without Ja because they weren't I mean, Ja's not this is gonna get this twisted. When I say he's not a team player, I don't mean that he's not good with the guys, but he's more of an isolated ISO ball guy. That's what he is. To Cleveland's point, and Cleveland's he can't argue this point. What do you like to say in the NBA? You need what? In the NBA, you need what, Cleveland?
Superstar talent.
And you need that dude, and that's what Ja. That's what Ja Morant is. And so if he can be If he can singularly go out and be that dude, that elevates their talent. But Cleveland doesn't like this.
But you heard the players that you were spitting out at me. Which
Cleveland,
one of those guys was that, dude?
Listen. This is
No.
what Cleveland. This
No.
is what Cleveland does not like
Which
to
one of those
acknowledge.
guys was that, dude?
This is what
Was it
Cleveland
Desmond
does
Bane?
not like to acknowledge.
Lance,
So
was
I'm
it Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, Derrick Rose, Jaren Jackson Jr., or Brandon Clark? Which one of those guys was that dude?
collectively that
No,
all those guys
there
you
is no
named
collectively
play good
in the
basketball.
NBA.
What do you mean? That's what happens. That's what to answer the question. His question right here. They had a better record without that dude
That's great.
than with that dude. It's
And
because they
then-
play collectively good basketball.
in the regular season,
answer-
but eventually
answer
they
your
had to
question,
come to the playoffs, and then nothing happened.
I mean, well, they lied to me. Desmond Baines, I'm assaulted. He lied to my face when I asked him, "What does
Oh
this
yeah,
team
no,
need?"
he truly believed it.
I asked him, "What does this team need to get over the hump?" And he said, "Nothing. We got it all." He lied to me, and then it went right out.
It can't. What'd you do?
I mean, I bought into it. I believed him.
No. Camp. You put your arm around her. You put your arm around him. And said, "Son, let me talk to you for a minute." Son, let me talk to you.
Come on now. I did. But he reiterated. He was confident in his conviction. I believed him.
Son, put your arm around him. Let me talk to you for a minute, man. That is
the best team in the East. The best team in the East is it's a race between
there's no race
Celtics and the Bucks.
No race.
It's a race between the Celtics and the Bucks.
There's no race. It's all about health. There's no race.
I have to say, man, I'm reluctant to agree with the Porzingis trade. I was reluctant to. I wasn't seeing how that was going to work out. I wasn't. I have to admit. I'm going to answer your question. To answer your question, Steven, I'm going with the Milwaukee Bucks. However, Porzingis, as somebody who mentioned that, SB has mentioned it as a Porzingis as a fourth option might actually be a good spot for him, and somebody who's going to be able to hit the three when nothing else works for them. Who somebody else is going to be able to pump fake and get to the hoop when nothing else is working for him, and he will get a block or two. And dare I say it, man? Dare I say I was so disappointed in anybody who mentioned that Porzingis trade working out. And I saw some things a couple nights ago that
it was the last show we just had with HMV meeting. Come on, man. And he pointed out what was going to go on.
He did.
How it would be better.
Again,
Steven, I know. Some preseason basketball.
Steven, I know.
Amen.
I know.
You watched some preseason basketball, making all kinds of conclusions and assessments, man. Come on.
It looked better than I anticipated. That's all. That's about all I can say. I'm still going to ride with the Milwaukee Bucks, but it looked Porzingis. You're absolutely right. Pavi brought it to my attention. It looked better than I anticipated. And then I saw that, okay, Stephen Jones, or not, excuse me, Stephen Jones. If, how am I having a brain fart? What's my man's name? Jason Tatum, Brown, when that doesn't, your first two options doesn't work, and then you bring in Drew Holiday, that doesn't work, you can kick it out to Porzingis. When he's your fourth option, that's not bad. It just saw it looked like it looked better than I anticipated. So to answer your question, who is the best team in the East? I'm going Milwaukee Bucks.
Bucks.
And I think it's gonna be Bucks and the Celtics. That's it.
Wow.
And yeah, I laughed at Porzingis too.
Not exactly going out there on a limb, Cam, but yeah, I think that's how it's gonna shake out.
I don't know. I don't expect it. I don't believe in the Sixers. This James Harden, do or don't. I don't believe in the Sixers. I don't know what they do with James Harden. I would have got rid of James Harden by now. I mean, you change is addition by subtraction. You get rid of Harden, send them to Toronto, send them to.
You send him to the Los Angeles Clippers like he's been angling for. I think that deal's almost done. I mean, I keep checking my phone to see if that deal is done yet. Is it done yet? Hold up, Cam. Why we're mid-show?
Did Bomber reach out to you? You got Bomber's line because I know how you like to pander.
I know. Hold up. Okay, not yet.
Again, I'm shipping him. I might send him to the Nets. I might send him to the Nets and go get Ben Simmons back.
He's already been with the Nets, so that's another thing that's going to happen. But the Clippers they're close. They're close.
Yeah, that's addition by subtraction because, I mean, Maxey, let Maxey get loose. I don't know that we're ever going to get the next step from Tobias Harris. I don't know that he's ever going to take that next step that you want him to take. But Maxey, you get the next step from Maxey, and you let him run him and Embiid take over the controls. I think that's not a bad situation right there.
That next step from Maxey, huh? Everybody keeps waiting for that next step from Maxey. When's that going to be?
I mean, this is only his third year. He's been hindered. He's been held back by James Harden. Come on, he's been hit. Come on, you know that. We don't have to argue that one. Come on, James Harden is holding him back. You know that.
Okay.
Fans, we're gonna take a quick break here. When we come back, we're gonna get into this week in history segment. We're gonna talk about the WNBA. It is the best out of 5. We're gonna talk about the WNBA, and then Cleavon, I want you to break down some of this MLB playoff for us. Let's take a little quick break here, fans. When we come back, Cleavon, you missed this. Cleavon, you got hold tight with me. Don't break yet. I don't know why I didn't do this at the beginning of the show. I know why I didn't do it at the beginning of the show. But Cleveland, you gotta watch this here. You gotta see this, please.
Who am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name is Cameron.
Cam Buford.
I'm a Dolphin fan. This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
As a competitor, how much does that competitive spirit get in there and say, I want to fight this guy. I want to get some of this guy.
Of course, I want to fight all the guys. Of course that. But at the same time, like I keep telling you, it's a business.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment.
I'm standing there to try to make a change. Give back to the youth, get back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter. The fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
If you can see, you can believe.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with him?
To me, it's easy to score a little bit more.
On your team, his ball number is it number 2 option or your number 3 option? On your team's team. 30 nights a year, he's my number 1 option. 30 nights. Can I finish right now?
Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about these type of
Like I was saying before.
Well, every game's a new game, so each one's a different experience, different defense, different players, different game plan. So.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
as the show voice of the
Oh
fan
my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve.
Come on, you were adding some spice to it.
It is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
Like you said, Pacific Northwest, so I think it's a big part of my game. And every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn up win a championship. Then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy.
Yeah,
for all
yeah,
that.
no, yeah, Cam, nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
Look at a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
I'm not caught up to you guys yet. I do
Real surprised at that, Cam.
Hey, give here. It's okay.
Oh, this guy.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's the big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sports. Hey, man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do.
Yeah, I might not be able to talk about my guy too longer, so I had to slip him in there. I had to slip in there. And before Bill Belichick becomes irrelevant and ends up on
Man, that is the most I've heard Bill Belichick talk this entire season, is answer your question.
Oh man, that was a funny moment. But that moment, man, with Reggie Miller, man, that was absolutely hysterical. I had to go back in the archives with that one. Cleveland, let's jump right into it, man. What's up with this Major League Baseball? The Dodgers get swept. Can you talk about that? Is this this not what you was expecting? Because you had the Dodgers in the World Series, didn't you? You Dodgers and Angels.
To start the season, I had the Mariners and the Padres. So
I mean, I was just here recently. I wasn't holding you to that.
Oh yeah.
As the playoffs started,
absolutely had the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw giving up those 5 consecutive hits. 6 runs in the first inning. Yeah, that kind of set the tone. Game 2, they were not able to rebound. These are really short series. Wow, they went to Arizona and couldn't muster up any offense.
Why? What happens to Kershaw in the playoffs, man? Why is this is I mean, truthfully, this has been going on year after year after year. Like, I don't know why they're expecting something different to be happening here. What's up with Kershaw in the playoffs? Why does he have the yips?
I don't think it's the yips. I think he just doesn't. I think he just gets tired and doesn't locate the pitches like he was in the regular season, and teams are just on it. They kind of almost expect it at this point.
Mookie. I mean, Mookie is who's the MVP? You have a dude from Atlanta, right? Acuna.
Ronald Acuna Jr. is my pick. Wouldn't be surprised if Mookie won it, but I said wouldn't be surprised if Mookie won it, but Ronald Acuna Jr. is my pick.
But okay, so I mean, either way, I mean, they have an MVP caliber player on their team, right? And to get swept, that's kind of is that Bip Roberts? Should he be out of there?
I don't. You can throw a lot of shade at Dave Roberts, and that's fine. I mean, obviously he has the biggest payroll in baseball. So, that is supposed to buy you a championship, and it's only bought them one in the last 6 or 7 years. I mean, the payroll is extreme, $250 million. And you get to the first round, you play 2 additional home games, and you go home. That's kind of lame, right? So it would be easy to point the finger at him. I mean, their second best pitcher, got suspended for beating up his wife. So it's like, okay, well, there goes that. And then your bullpen is kind of so-so. And, baseball, especially in the playoffs, is very, momentum driven. And they just didn't have any. Not to make excuses and explanations for them, because I don't feel like you should have to do that if you have that type of payroll. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not on the chopping block. Who are you going to get better to replace him? Well, that remains, that's the big question.
So the thing over the past few years is the reason he hasn't been replaced is because he's not really making the decisions. Apparently, it's coming from the owners, and they're looking at the computer and they're looking at the analytics to say, okay, play Mookie, don't play Mookie, put in, leave Kershaw on the mound, or don't leave Kershaw on the mound. So he's kind of been taking the face of it, taking the brunt of it, but he's not really making the decisions. Do you see that? Do you recognize that? Can you believe that?
Hard to say. I mean, when you're in a managerial position like that, I mean, there are so many, baseball has so many nuances that it seems like it would be kind of hard to do that on a, inning by inning, play by play basis. But maybe so.
In the dugout, there's a phone in the dugout.
There is, but I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're under that kind of scrutiny and every decision that you're making is ultimately second guessed and having to get approval from someone, then sure. I mean, if he's just the person that's just quote unquote pretending to be the manager, then he can stay for. I mean,
black.
He can be the Roger Goodell of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Sure, take all the.
I mean, that's kind of been the as long as I've been kind of quasi following the Dodgers. That's kind of been the situation, or the not rumor is not rumor. It's almost fact to this point. That's kind of been the truth of what's going on. Is he's been the front man, but they're making the decisions above him, and they're calling down and making sure he plays who they want him to play. And that's why because we've seen the same thing happen like year after year after year. We're like Kershaw fading out in the playoffs is not a surprise to anybody. The Dodgers underperforming in the playoffs is not a surprise to anybody. So for him to continue to keep his job, it kind of has to be that situation, right? Because
I mean, not necessarily. I mean,
he did win the World Series.
What you're suggesting is that because of the managerial decisions that he makes is why the team is not having more success. And from the outside looking in, that's not really what it is. It's really more the players get to this situation or get to this point and they don't live up to expectation. As a manager in baseball, you can only put people in a position to win. But when you always have the most talent and the best players, then it's up to them to do it, right?
So you hear your whole thing on talent again, talent over coaching. They have the talent, they're just not getting it done, is what you're saying.
Yes.
I think there has to be a reason for that. And if you're not able to
but it's not necessarily because the manager is not doing their job. It's because
they just don't get it done. Kershaw, okay, he's not that guy. I can say I'm not starting Kershaw in the playoffs. I can make that decision, but they keep rolling them out there.
You have to start Clayton Kershaw.
No, you don't. Not at Cleveland. Cleveland, even in the year they won the Super Bowl in the COVID year, won the World Series in the COVID year, like he wasn't impressive in the first.
He won a World Series game.
That was the one game that he played. He came back and he pitched off a short notice, right? He pitched off a short notice and finished the game off. He didn't pitch the whole. He didn't go throw a complete game. You know what I'm saying? He didn't pitch a complete game.
Okay, well, I mean, I hear you, man. Jump all over Clayton. He's been underwhelming in the playoffs his entire career. I can't say he hasn't been, but I can't say that means you just don't throw Clayton Kershaw. That's not a thing.
Well, we see where they are. What do you think about the Braves? The Braves and Harper. The Braves and Philly. Now I wanted to come on. I wanted to get your feedback, and now they were bashing Harper just the other day for maybe making the worst play in all of baseball history, is what I heard. When he was on first and rounded second, and the guy made I guess he assumed it was going to be a home run or at least hit the fence, but the guy made the catch and then throw him out as he's trying to get back to first place. How bad of a play was that, Cleveland? Was it equate that? Tell the fans what you equate that to.
I mean, it wasn't terrible. I mean, certainly it was an aggressive play. I mean, you should probably err on the side of caution, given the fact that you should actually see the ball land before you get that far off of first base with no.
Wasn't it just last series? Not to cut you off, wasn't it just last series that he overran the third base and he took a double and turned it into a triple to get from home or first base to home, and kind of won them a game. So I mean,
it certainly comes down to a little bit of decision making, a little bit of luck, but I'm not going to throw Bryce Harper under the bus for that one. I mean, these things happen.
Okay, all right. So you don't see it as one of the worst plays ever in baseball playoff history, as they were talking it up as a couple nights ago. But now they have the Braves down. And your guy Ronald Acuna Jr. The Phillies are up. What's your thoughts on this situation? You got the Phillies to finish them off?
No, not necessarily. A very shortened series. We'll see if big players make big plays, or if they just pitch around him and make him a non-factor. That happens too. That's part of what happens when you get in these short series, and you can take their best weapon away pretty easy. You just either put them on or just don't pitch to them.
And Houston advances again. What's your thoughts on Houston? I mean, is this their Houston just automatic World Series team here recently?
That's who they are. They produce when the lights are the brightest, and they have a very established team, veteran players that get clutch hits and get clutch outs from the mound. They've been a different team since they reacquired Justin Verlander. They were kind of spiraling before that. He's certainly righted the ship.
Okay, so nothing bad to say about Houston, huh? I can sense the tone in your voice.
I mean, I could be they're cheaters and they banged on the garbage can. I tend to get past those kind of things. I mean, people do things to gain competitive advantages, blah, blah, blah. Were they right? No, obviously they did a whole investigation and found out that they actually did do that and suspended Joey Cora for an entire year, et cetera, et cetera. So
he came back and won the World Series after those allegations. So that's kind of
no, that's not validation. They actually did all that, which is what the whole investigation was about.
Right. So but I'm saying they came back and won it after.
So all you can say is that perhaps they could have won without doing that, but they didn't do that. They actually were cheating. So, yeah.
But then when you come back and win it after those
allegations, doesn't validate anything. No.
What do you mean? How does it not validate anything? Yeah, after they came back and won.
Because the way that you're saying it makes it seem like they would have won it without cheating, but they just cheated to win it. It's not. Yeah.
I mean, you can't say they couldn't. You can't say they couldn't have won it. Now, if the next season, like they turn around and went.
That's like your boy Bill Belichick. I mean, they could have won the Super Bowl without taping all the things from the,
No.
the rafters, but they did.
But if they didn't make the playoff the next year, then I think that makes a stronger point that cheating made a difference. But when you come back and win the World Series after all the
you can never quantify how much cheating makes a difference or not. The only way you can kind of do that in baseball is kind of with steroids, and it's only with like a lot of like projections and numbers and statistics. But as far as actual World Series titles, and they've already been convicted of being guilty of doing that, you can't say, oh, well, they would have done that anyways. They didn't have to do it, but they just did it. I mean, that's just, that's not a thing.
The Cleveland. Okay, they got accused. You got accused.
And you get accused, they got convicted.
They got convicted of cheating, and they were found that they were cheating. After the allegation, the very next year, they came back and won the World Series.
Not the allegation after the conviction. You're making it sound like they didn't do that. That's the problem. Or that he didn't contribute to them winning it. And because they won it the season after they got convicted of doing it, means that it wasn't that big of a deal. And you have no way to determine that.
Yeah, because even with all the eyeballs on them, they came back and won the World Series. That does minimize that conviction.
It does not.
I disagree. I totally disagree. Because if they didn't make the playoffs the next season, then you're like, oh, that mattered. Now they really needed that. They really needed that play stealing. Now they really needed those garbage cans, but they came back and won it, even with everybody watching them, thinking that they're a bunch of cheaters. They came back and won the World Series. Like, that does minimize.
Not thinking that they're a bunch of cheaters. They actually were convicted of cheating. That's what I'm saying. There's no ambiguity here, bro. That happened.
Okay, it happened. But after, do you not credit them for winning the World Series?
You have to give them credit. They're a very good team, but why are you discrediting the fact that they used all of that to win the World Series the year before that?
I'm not discrediting it. What I'm saying,
you absolutely are, because you're saying that because they won the next season means they really wasn't that big of a deal if they did it the year before, because they just would have won it anyway.
It minimizes.
You have absolutely no way of quantifying that.
And it minimizes it even more that they've been in the World Series 4 of the last 5 years.
Okay, all right, Cam.
I'm just saying.
I mean, good teams cheating don't really make no difference. Is what you're saying. Because they would have won it anyways. They just got a little extra advantage incentive.
I mean, they got an extra advantage, sure enough. However, if they come back and win it 3 of the next 4 years,
just like your Patriots, I know, just like your Patriots.
Not my Patriots. You know better than that. Now everybody is excoriating Cristobal for running the ball when they have a 4-point lead. He ran the ball, the player fumbles. Then, if that wasn't bad enough, they throw a Hail Mary and they lose the game on a Hail Mary. I mean, that's bad luck. Is that dumb play calling or bad luck? What do you attribute that to?
It's called the victory formation for a reason, Cameron.
I mean, some of that is bad luck, man. You run the ball.
No. It's called the victory formation because you cannot lose if you do this. If you do some other things, then other things can happen, and then the game can, be in question. But if you just take a knee, that can never happen. Hasn't happened since the Pisarcik fumble that Herm Edwards picked up and ran back for a touchdown in 1982.
So should he lose his job for that? That's a fireable offense?
I believe it's a fireable offense.
I mean, they do lose a lot because if they win the game, they stay undefeated. If they win the game, they're certainly in line for a bowl game, which is millions of dollars to the franchise who hasn't been relevant for a bunch of years now. He don't expect a guy to fumble.
Cameron, it's called the victory formation for a reason, because if you do that, you can't lose the game. So why would you be doing anything else if you could just do this one thing and not lose the game? And then why was he trying to get extra yards? Where was he trying to go? And then how did he end up losing the fumble? How did they let them get the ball back? And then how did you let them go 7 yards in 26 seconds? All that makes no difference if you just get into victory formation and end the game.
But hey, Jones, is that a fireable offense Was that a fireable offense, Jones? I mean, again, it cost the franchise, cost my team an undefeated record, potentially cost them a bowl game. Yeah, it's a bad look. But was that a fireable offense? Cleveland says he shouldn't have been left on. He shouldn't have been brought on the plane, which is kind of cold. Caleb Williams go in double overtime against Arizona, the Wildcats.
Tough place to play, Cam. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Oh, here you go.
Weird stuff happens down there.
Oh, here you go. Oh, talking about making excuses. Come on, double overtime against the Wildcats.
Shouldn't have been that close, but hey,
is he still in the Heisman race?
Yeah.
So he has this in the bag already.
No, the question was, he's still in the race. Absolutely. That double overtime victory against the Wildcats doesn't push him out of Heisman contention. He's still absolutely top 3, if not the front runner still.
Yeah. Oh, now you have him as a front runner. Oh my goodness. It looks like those Huskies they're ranked in the top. They got a big game up this weekend.
Yeah, Oregon comes to town.
So, but this is a 2 top teams, if I remember correctly, right?
7 versus 8, yes.
What's your confidence? I see you got the purple and gold on. What's your confidence in this game?
Got a lot of confidence in that offense. I mean, we will see how the rest of the team plays, but I think that the receiving core of the Huskies have, and the explosive offense will be more than the Oregon Ducks can handle.
All right, fans, before we let you go, I mean, USC just gives up points. I mean, are they any different? You knew they were going to give up points, right? You knew that from Lincoln's defense in Oklahoma. Like, they're going to give up points. So who they thought we were? I mean, who did you think they were? That they're going to be a high-powered team. All right, fans. So before we end the show, we're going to show you something else, right? Show you this right here. Show you what you shaking your hair for?
I just want to see what you're going to show, Cam. What you got for me?
I mean, we have to do it, fans. We have to keep you guys abreast of what's going on in the Voice of the Fans Fantasy Football Squad. Are we doing the Voice of the Fans?
Okay, cool.
Are we doing the Voice of the Fans Fantasy Hoop?
I didn't know if you was going to get to it, Cam. I thought,
I know. Are we doing the Voice of the Fans Fantasy Hoop? Do I get a chance to redeem myself this season? Voice of the Fans Fantasy Football League right here. You see, let's point out the first thing we have to point out. We must point out is who leads this league in points right here. You see, 697. I mean, I just can't discount. It's all about points, right?
No, it's all about wins and losses. How all those points equate to wins, Cam?
Well, you see, I'm on a winning streak right now.
Okay, so you're tied for 6th place.
That's not accurate right now. Actually, I'm in 3rd place as a standing show.
Okay, so 3, 4, 5, and 6 all have the same record as you.
Again, but they don't have.
Am I reading this wrong? Or I mean, tell me something here. 3, 3, 6 is all 3 and 2, right?
I mean, that's one way to look at it. But who has the most points? Who has the most points on the board? Do you notice?
Okay, and if 7 and 8 win their matchups and you lose next week, then you're in 8th place.
If it was a 5th, I got America's team this week.
Okay,
American team 4-1. So I got some tough competition. I'm gonna have to knock out.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland, there's Young Sam at number 1. Yeah, he can't wait to. He couldn't wait to hear that. Let's see who's on his team and who's on his roster right now. I'll get to you. I'll get to you, Jones. Well, I'll answer your question, but let's before we get out of here, let's see. Cleveland has C.J. Stroud. Oh, C.J. Stroud leading your way. He done worked his way up to #1 spot, huh? Zay Flowers and Trevor Etienne, Pacheco. You happy with Pacheco? I see. So you went out and got Amari Cooper. When did that happen? You didn't draft him, did you?
Yeah, don't worry when I made the moves. I mean, he's on the team right now, so.
Well, you got a couple guys on the IR. I don't know how you're gonna work
Dude,
that out.
I
Gibbs has Gibbs showed up for you?
Not yet. Not in the way that I was expecting.
This Schultz has been all right. I got him in a different league. Yeah, it look like just another injury could set you back. Huh?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm thin.
Yeah, it looks you look real thin there. You look real thin there. Let's take a look at a well-built team. Let's take it.
Are we looking at the A-place team? Is that what we're looking at?
No, we're about to show you a well-built team. A team that's built to last. Look at that. Justin Herbert, Jamar Chase.
I mean, first and foremost, we're starting with Justin Herbert. Wow.
I mean, this, yeah.
I mean, your best player is Laporta.
Kenneth Walker. I mean, Laporta is.
Looks like your best player is Laporta.
Yeah, rookie. He's getting it done. He's getting it done, whether you know it or not. I got Nico. I'm on the Texas bandwagon. I got Nico.
A Cheney. He's also out for 4 weeks.
That hurts right now. That hurts right now.
A Cheney, man.
Got to go get DeMarcado. I mean, since your guy couldn't carry the load.
That was a good pick up.
Your guy couldn't carry the load, so I need somebody.
He did do well last week. That's no question about that.
And Palmer, I mean, you're gonna see Palmer. You don't know nothing about Josh Palmer. You'll see him on Monday night.
I sure don't.
You don't know nothing
about him, and apparently you don't either because he's not in your starting lineup. So,
well, no, because I got Pierce.
Okay, well, sure.
And I mean, who am I taking out? Am I taking out?
I mean, all this analysis hasn't equated to wins just yet, but I'm sure with the way that you're trying to.
I'm a game behind you. I'm not sure if you noticed that or not, but I'm one game behind you. One game. Uno.
Okay, but you're behind me.
Uno game. So all that bluster you got.
And you're projected to lose this week. So
I got some moves to make. Okay. But I'm right there.
Just saying. Am I projected to lose this week? Or
I'm sorry?
So was I projected to lose this week? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, actually you are. Actually,
okay.
You're projected to get smacked around. Actually,
Tony's supposed to beat me up. Okay, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
see what happens.
So yeah, that's a look at that. So we got a couple
first place fans still in first place though.
That's as of now. The game starts tomorrow. The game starts tomorrow. So what do you want to talk about before we leave? What's the best Jordans of all time? Oh, I'm not a Jordan guy. I mean, so I was the second or third ones.
I would have to go with the ones in '88, man. When the one of the
white with the little skin on
the black ones.
I don't know.
I forgot what they're called. Yeah, I'm not a huge Jordanite as well. So can't recall what the best.
I think it's the 2 or 3s, the all white ones with the little skin on the heel and the toe. I think.
Nah, it's the other ones. It's the can't figure out what the name of them is.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Jordan. But
I'm not an Nike fan. I'm an Adidas guy. Jones. Just I bought. I don't think I ever told this story on the air, but I bought one pair. I physically purchased one pair of Nikes. I've had other pairs kind of gifted to me, but I physically bought one pair of Nikes, and that was those Bo Jackson's cross trainers. And that's how far I go back. was that 89, 88, 89? I think it was 89.
So you're not personally bought Jordans in over 30 years?
I've never bought a pair of Jordans.
Nikes.
Period.
Excuse me. Nikes.
I've never bought a pair of Jordans. Period. Never, ever. Proudly, never had any in my closet. Never, ever.
But you haven't bought a pair of Nikes for over 30 years.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Not even the Air Hirachis.
You still the one pair of Nikes I bought was the Bo Jacksons, and that was at 89. The Bo Jacksons cross trainers. That was it. The one pair, all black, filthy. Those were filthy. Like those I had to go get. I was like, okay, I gotta go get some of those. But Cleveland,
usually most cats say they got at least the Barclays. Yeah.
No, this Deion Sanders was close.
That's what I'm saying. Those are the Hirachis, the Deion Sanders claws.
Yeah, they were close. No, the one pair I physically bought, but this is why I've never bought another pair. I'm gonna tell you why. I was playing basketball in the cross trainers, and was driving to the hoop, and stopped to let the defender, plant foot, let the defender go by, and then go up for the lay-in, and my foot went through the shoe. My foot literally went through the shoe, and that was it. I never bought a pair of my Nike.
So you did a Zion on them.
Yeah. I now walking around school all day long with the my shoe with the hole in the shoe. Like, what are you guys doing with me, Nike? I never bought a pair again. That was it. So Jones is new to the show. We appreciate you chiming in, Joe.
Good looking, Jones. Welcome.
Jones, he got a couple more questions. Cleveland. He wants to know about this guy.
Christian Jackson McCaffrey is the truth. And now that he is in an offense where he is not the focal point for every single thing that happens, even more productive. He's that guy.
Do you want to tell Jones what you thought?
Not really. I mean, why? We're saying current on current events, man. He asked questions about Christian, man. What's the next question?
Okay, I mean, I just want to.
I mean, you said he had several questions, so what's the next question?
What did you think of him coming out of college, though?
Man, I thought he was going to be, adequate.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna leave it that. We're gonna leave that alone. He gets a little salty, Jones. If you haven't noticed, he gets a little salty when you touch on that nerve right there. With Christian Jackson McCaffrey is. Interesting question here. Best quarterback of all time. I wouldn't have said Brady if you left him out. If you left him in the mix, I wouldn't have said Brady. But best quarterback of all time. My fandom tells me Dan Marino. Dan Marino's putting up stats that Cats just start, not this season. I think it took 30 years before Drew Brees broke his passing stat, most yards most yards ever. Brees did that, 2009, I think it was. From a stat that was in 1984. Okay. Cats is breaking Dan Marino's records in the 2000s and the 2000 teens that he set in 1984. Tells you how ridiculous he was as a quarterback. He liked to run up. He didn't like to run the ball. That was his hindrance. Anybody that he had, he decided to pass the ball. Looking back at all the times, man, the best quarterback, the best all-around quarterback, I mean, you have to say John Elway or Joe Montana. I mean, John Elway took the Denver Broncos literally a one-man show to the Super Bowls 3 times before he actually got there and won with Terrell Davis, right? Back-to-back. So he was there 5 times. He won the last 2. Really wasn't him that won the last 2. However, that was number 4 and 5 for him being in the Super Bowl. But his ability to move around, I mean, just the drive. The drive. I mean, that explains. I was a Browns fan. I was sick of it. That made me sick. I wasn't a Browns fan. I was rooting for the Browns, I should say. But that drive tells you kind of what a quarterback needs to do, and that was quintessential John Elway. Being a rollout, find your open receiver, hit him, get the ball in scoring position, and he got it done. Joe Montana was 4-0 in the Super Bowl. So I mean, I can give you a few different names, but just all the quarterbacks are trying to break Dan Marino's record. So, Cleveland, what you say?
You know, Cam, I'm gonna have to go with Peyton Manning. You know, the 3 Super Bowls. I mean, in the modern era, as far as what he was able to accomplish. I mean, you know, I had him in fantasy one year, 55-10. You know, that's
First guy. He was the first guy to go win one with the Colts and then go to a different team. Nah, he wasn't the first guy to do it, but then go to a different team and win one with the Broncos, right?
Won one with the Colts, lost one with the Colts. 2 yeah, so he's been in 4 Super Bowls. Yeah, 2-2.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, the general. You can't. I mean, Peyton Manning. He took his offense with him. He took his offense on the road. So you have to appreciate that. So there's a few names for him. There's a few names for you, Jones. Nobody ever asked that question. So that's a good question for you, man. Shout out. Thanks for being a part of the show. We appreciate you guys. Appreciate all you fans for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Something that we typically do. We have our numbers game that we play at the beginning of the show. We have our This Week in History that we come back with after our break. And then we end the show with the quote, Jones. Nobody's doing this in their podcast. Nobody's giving you this breadth of content. And so we appreciate you tuning into the show. Hopefully you share the show with the fan. By the way, before we let you go, where are you tuning in from? Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave us a comment, and just let us know where you're tuning in from. And the quote I'm going to leave you guys with tonight is, you can't get much done in life if you only work on the days you feel good. You can't get much done in life if you only work on the days you feel good. That's from the logo, Cleveland. No, appreciate you, man. Thanks for chiming in. Where you tuning in from? Again, fans, you can't get much done in life if you only work on the days you feel good. So that's just saying every day you gotta get out there and get it. You gotta get out there and get it, fans, every day. Whether you feel good or not, get after it. Do whatever you need to do to make your life a better place, and that in turn make the world a better place. Cleveland One, thank you as always. Thank you for your participation on the show. We'll do this next week, fans. Steven, appreciate you showing up. Indianapolis.
Ninja.
Indy in the house.
Got a 317 in the house again. Okay.
Yeah.
We got some traction in the nap, Cam.
Naptown. Thank you guys for tuning in. Ninja, SB, MJ Lover. Thank all you guys for tuning in to the show, being a part of the show. Cleveland, thank you for being a part of the show. Have a good week, fans, and we'll see you soon. As always, thank you for making our voice your choice. Have a good one. It is a beautiful thing. Have a good one.